This is a Fox News alert. Pope Francis has died. I'm Dave Anthony. The day after he celebrated Easter in public in Rome.
Pope Francis passed away in the morning of Easter Monday at his residence in the Vatican's Casa Santa Marta. It was just hours after his final public appearance, wishing happy Easter to thousands of worshippers from the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica before being driven around the square to greet the Catholic faithful in person. The pontiff had endured months of ill health, including a weeks-long stay in hospital battling double pneumonia. In his final address, Pope Francis called for a ceasefire in Gaza and described growing anti-Semitism as worrisome. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
Also yesterday, the Pope had briefly met with Vice President Vance, who's now in India, and posted on X.
I just learned of the passing of Pope Francis. My heart goes out to the millions of Christians all over the world who loved him. I was happy to see him yesterday, though he was obviously very ill, but I'll always remember him for a homily he gave in the very early days of COVID.
That's Fox's Madeline Rivera. Tributes are pouring in from leaders around the world, and the Argentina president says they deeply regret Pope Francis's death. He was the first pope ever from Argentina and Latin America, elected to replace Pope Benedict when he retired in 2013. 2 years later, Francis became the first pope to do this in Washington.
I am most grateful for your invitation to address this joint session of Congress.
And more people are gathering now outside the Vatican to pay their respects to Pope Francis, who again died a few hours ago at the age of 88. The U.S. has apparently gone on the attack again in Yemen. Houthi militants claim airstrikes hit today, killing at least 12 people. And there's more controversy around American attacks targeting Houthis last month. Reports Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth had a second Signal Group chat detailing some of these strikes with some family members, his wife and brother. The first Signal chat inadvertently included a journalist mistakenly invited. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What happened in northeastern Indiana? You have a light rain on radar, and it's 64 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. Your high today is 71. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 6:02. A shooting, a police chase, and 2 men dead. That's what happened Sunday night in Whitley County, says Indiana State Police Sergeant Wes Rollader.
Fort Wayne City was called to respond to a possible homicide. When they arrived on scene, a vehicle matching the suspect description had left the scene and fled. They took chase. The Indiana State Police backed them up in that pursuit, which ended up here in Whitley County, which led to the officer-involved shooting.
And no officers were hurt during the chase or the shooting. State police are taking over the investigation. The cops involved are placed on administrative leave. A teenager is in bad shape this morning after they were shot over the weekend in Lawrence, trying to break into a car. The cops say the person who shot the kid has not been charged, but they're still looking into this. Some services that you depend on could be cut because of a state budget forecast that predicts a shortfall over the next 2 years. Here's Chris Davis.
The thing that we want to protect and hold to the longest is trying to protect K-12. That's a big priority, I think, for everyone.
That's Speaker of the Indiana House, Todd Houston. But that may be difficult to actually do.
And there are only 2 or 3 big areas that we spend money in: Medicaid and in K through 12 and higher education.
Ball State economics professor Mike Hicks on Wish TV's All Indiana Politics. He says all other items are small and difficult to cut because Indiana already has a conservative budget. Former State Senator Jim Merritt suggests holding off on the cuts because we don't know what tariffs are permanent. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
It was a gold out and then a blowout for the Indiana Pacers, who beat the Milwaukee Bucks on Saturday in Game 1 of the NBA playoffs, 117-95.
I thought the first half, our level of persistence was good, and it was consistent. Things stalled out some in the third quarter.
That's head coach Rick Carlisle. Game 2, Tuesday at 7 at Gamebridge Fieldhouse. I'm Ryan Hedrick, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Traffic and weather together in 1 minute. It's 6:04.
Pat Sullivan here for Gutter Helmet. Spring is here. Are you still putting screens on your gutters? You know, if the holes are too big, debris gets in, and you're still cleaning your gutters. If the holes are too small, it sits on top, and now you're cleaning the screens. I have Gutter Helmet on my home, and it has no holes, slots, or screens. It keeps the debris out and the water in. Since 1981, Gutter Helmet has been America's #1 choice for gutter protection. Right now, Gutter Helmet is offering a 17% discount plus 12 months, no interest financing if paid in full within 12 months. Call 800-5HELMET, that's 800-5HELMET, to schedule a free estimate. 17% off is good through April. Restrictions apply and cannot be combined with other offers. Call Gutter Helmet today at 800-5HELMET, that's 800-5HELMET, or gutterhelmetindy.com, and never clean your gutters again.
All right, coming in from Brownsburg, it's a crash eastbound 74 Ronald Reagan Parkway. Left lane is closed, no delay at the moment. Northbound 65 on the south side slows from 465 to Keystone Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free sky-high silver report and precious metals IRA guide at betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
So we already have had some rains coming in this morning. There's still a little bit of rain going on out there, and that will, I'm not going to say it's going to continue. We might see the end of that. What we will see is some winds pick up. Sunshine in the early part of the morning. Winds that will be with us in the afternoons. And then hopefully the sun continues to be with us for the rest of the day. We should get a high today in the upper 60s. Right now, it's actually 64 degrees in the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. The time is 6:06. Pope Francis, dead at the age of 88. Attending Mass for Easter just yesterday. Meeting with the Vice President, J.D. Vance, just the day before. This has been a long illness, which at the time, and his hospitalization just over a month ago, the reports were that he was not going to survive, and yet there he was, reaching out to the crowds just a little over a week ago, coming out with public statements, and then being part of not only the Easter Mass, but actually taking the ride in what they call the Pope-mobile through the crowd yesterday. Tony Katz, 93 WIBC. Good morning. Conclave, sometime between 10 to 20 days. That's when it will begin. It will be this gathering. They will lock themselves in the room, and the decision will be made on who will the next leader of the church be. There, I have nothing for you, sadly, on early frontrunners or where it is that the conclave is going to be thinking. No clue on what it is that they're going to be looking at, how they're going to view it. The Pope Francis was from Argentina, and there's going to be, of course, questions of the political involved in all of this. What will most either bring people to the church, allow people to stay in the church, etc. And these political things may involve other regions. And again, not sure what they're looking for this time around. It was Pope Francis who replaced Pope Benedict, who simply retired. Said, this is not for me. Which is something that doesn't happen very often. So here's the scene and here's the scenario. In 10 to 20 days, the conclave will begin, and the cardinals will be locked in. Best use of wording I can come up with at the moment. From then, we'll watch the smoke. Black smoke, no pope has been chosen. White smoke, a pope has been chosen, and then will be announced to the world. It's all eyes on the Holy See, all eyes on the Vatican, bringing the updates as they come. As for Pope Francis's place in history, or if in at some level a pantheon for Catholics, I've discussed this before, that everything I have ever been told always seemed to me that there was a displeasure. There was was he somebody who was really focused on the values and teachings of the church, or was he focused on some level of modernity, trying to bring the church into the 21st century, if you will? Was that it? And through that modernity, the idea of changes that were seen as not part of the church, not valuable, not worthy. That was always my take, but I am a clear outsider looking in here. While there will be all the pomp and circumstance and the people who want to wax semantic, I assume we'll get a better idea of where Pope Francis is in history and how it is seen by Catholics around the globe. American Catholics maybe seeing it differently than others. Pope Francis dead at the age of 88. That is the breaking news happening in the early morning hours, our time, taking place at 7:35 a.m. local time. As per the statement, at 7:35 this morning, the Bishop of Rome, Francis, returned to the home of the Father. His entire life was dedicated to the service of the Lord and the church. So that's part of the statement that took place. Here we go from here. And we will follow the story. Tony Katz, 93 WIBC. Good morning.
This is Gary Dick, a transformational project in Southwest Indiana at 632. Brought to you by the 12,000 Hoosier men and women with Laborers District Council and affiliated local unions that build Indiana. We are LIUNA.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer, owner of Comer & Cross Concrete Floors. If you're even thinking about a new garage floor, I promise you will love your new Comer & Cross garage floor more than any home improvement you do. Every single day for years to come. That's why so many builders use Comer & Cross. And Comer & Cross patios look way better than a new one at a fraction of the cost. Comer & Cross garage floors and patios are the gold standard. Guaranteed to never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And we make it so easy. We are all courteous uniform pros. We have the equipment and know-how to fix your concrete perfectly before applying your gleaming, new, proprietary Comer & Cross finish. We even take your stuff out for you. For your quick and easy, no sales pressure estimate, please call us right now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to comercross.com.
In Indiana, spring means spring cleaning, getting organized, putting away winter clothes, hosting, just kind of hosing down the patio furniture, all of that stuff. Make sure to add refreshing your financial portfolio to the list. My friends at Trajan Wealth, the money management professionals, the fiduciary advisors, can provide that much-needed refreshing. Matt Baer here. Hey, Trajan Wealth is Indiana to the core with principles like smart money management and hard work at their foundation. Call for your first consultation. It's free. 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Trajan Wealth, your fiduciary advisors, ready to customize a portfolio that reflects your timeline and your hopes and dreams. Call and schedule a consultation at 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Remember, your first appointment is on them. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
At Advantage Vent, they make the only crawl-space vent that looks like a window and works like a window. Vinyl frame, double pane glass, clean airflow, sealed protection. This isn't just ventilation, it's a full upgrade for your home for a mere fraction of encapsulation cost. Reduce moisture, odors, radon gas, and energy bills with Advantage Vent's Indiana-made crawl-space solutions, like their Power Vent with built-in fans. Available on Amazon. Use promo code INDY2025 for your extra exclusive discount today. That's AdvantageVent.com.
Don't get suckered into the same old free phone game by Big Wireless. There is a better way. Pure Talk, my sponsor, my wireless company, has a better offer. A brand new free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan for $35 a month. You get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 15 gigs of data, all on America's most dependable 5G network. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk for your free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan. Pure Talk, wireless by Americans for Americans.
Traffic. His name is Matthew Baer. He's in the WIBC Traffic Center. He's a heck of a guy. He's a swell dancer. He loves to cha-cha, and he has traffic for you.
That's the best hips in Indy. All right, good morning, Tony. Looking at northbound 65, slow 465 to Keystone Avenue. It's raining, so please be careful. Watch for flooding today. I gauged things by Michigan Street here downtown, and that left lane was completely flooded again, so it is out there. Please be careful on your way into work, especially on the city streets. Traffic sponsored by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA Guide at BetterNestEgg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. I'm Matt Baer with traffic on the fives. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
We have got ourselves 64 degrees in the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. The time is 6:16.
Hey folks, Scott Wilson here from Wilson Farm Market. Even in winter, we're bringing you the best in farm fresh flavors. Stop in for our fresh salad bar, hot and crispy wing bar, and a cheese selection that is second to none. Got a sweet tooth? Our homemade pies, creamy fudge, and old-fashioned candy will hit the spot. Come see us on US 31 just north of Carmel. We're open every day 9 to 6. At Wilson Farm Market, we're all about fresh, local, and delicious. See you soon.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT, cybersecurity, and AI? Attend classes live, online, or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
What if the next time you painted your home was the last time you painted your home?
Our home has had Rhino Shield for 10 years.
Rhino Shield. Call 888-RHINO-41. Don't paint, don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Well, it's one for the money, two for the show, three to get ready. Now go, cat, go, but don't you step on my blue suede shoe.
And the drama over deportations continues. The Supreme Court now halting Venezuelan deportations after an appeal from the ACLU, which is fine for them to sue. Of course, as we understand, the ACLU is not in favor of Americans in any way, shape, or form. To be in favor of Venezuelan nationals, gang members, is pretty awkward. Well, they're not getting due process, Tony. Oh, okay. So you say. Which is the problem with the entire conversation. The Supreme Court, in a 7-2 decision, said that the president cannot utilize right now, has to hold up while they hear this case regarding the use of the Alien Enemies Act. But in this approach from the ACLU, the court never said, okay, now what's the other side of this argument? They never questioned the very idea of standing. They just said, all right, we'll give a temporary pause. We'll halt the president from being able to do his job while everybody gets everything together. As Samuel Alito, Supreme Court Justice, wrote in the middle of the night, both the executive and the judiciary have an obligation to follow the law, which it doesn't seem that the court is doing. The only papers before this court were those submitted by the applicants. The court has not ordered or received a response by the government regarding either the applicant's factual allegations or any of the legal issues presented by the application. And the court did not have the benefit of a government response filed in any of the lower courts either. Justice Alito continues, while alleging that the applicants were in imminent danger of removal, while the filing said this, they provided little concrete support for the allegation. In sum, literally in the middle of the night, writes Justice Alito, the court issued unprecedented and legally questionable relief without giving the lower courts a chance to rule. Without hearing from the opposing party within 8 hours of receiving the application, with dubious factual support for its order, and without providing any explanation for its order. I refused to join the court's order because we had no good reason to think that, under the circumstances, issuing an order at midnight was necessary or appropriate. Both the executive and the judiciary have an obligation to follow the law. John Roberts has succeeded in creating the most political court ever. The thing that he always wanted to avoid. He's a political cat, obviously. And yes, it's time to reel in Marbury v. Madison and say the court ain't that important. I know that shocks the system, right? You're supposed to listen to the court. What are we looking at here? We're looking at Supreme Court activism. Now, one, I guess, could argue, outsider looking in, not a lawyer, listen, it's not like the president can't hold these people. This is about the deportation of these people to, for example, El Salvador, because Venezuela won't take them back. And the Alien Enemies Act says all you have to do is engage the proclamation. All you have to do is say, I deem these people to be invaders, engaged in a predatory incursion, I believe is the exact terminology, and I can then, therefore, the president can remove them. That's all you have to do. No declaration of war required. And you can say, we're going to hold on to these people and let the Supreme Court do their job. Right? But is that their job? To take one group and say, based on this, and as Justice Alito explains, nothing from the other side, say, all right, let's stop the president from doing this and see what they have to say. Just as one could argue there's nothing wrong with the temporary hold, one could equally argue there absolutely is. And what's wrong with saying, okay, let the Trump administration get us some information, and then we could decide whether to halt things. If the left thought that packing the court was a good idea, wait till you see what's coming. You are going to get what you wished for. You know that this is a conversation. 15 justices, wait for it. Wait for it. I don't want any of this crap. But you started this, political left. Do not be surprised. The Trump administration has already responded to this, to the actions of the Supreme Court. We'll go from there. If the argument is everyone has to follow the law, as we've already stated on this show, you can bring Abrego Garcia back to the United States, but he isn't going to Maryland. He's sitting in a confinement cell. And you can always deport him somewhere else. Just find another nation that'll take him. Because the deportation order, remember, he was ordered deported, was this guy. This is a second case. And then he was ordered not to be deported to El Salvador because he feared for his life, because he's part of a gang, MS-13, and other gang members might get him. So deport him somewhere else. Find another country that will take him. Throw him in jail, do whatever. He isn't going back to Maryland. He's not a Maryland man. This is a lie. I have made the argument that we should follow the court order no matter how ridiculous it is. And I blame Bondi and the White House for not moving heaven and earth to take that order and have it removed, to push back against it. Back in 2019 when it was in place, when it was put in place, and now. So Trump in term one and Bondi today. Right now, not super impressed with Bondi. But when you have senators like Chris Van Hollen going down to El Salvador to have lunch with this guy who didn't look like he was starving, turns out he's not even in the notorious prison. Abrego Garcia is not in the notorious prison. He has his own cell in a different jail with furniture and a bed on his own. And there's Senator Van Hollen, Democrat, drinking margaritas with him. Oh, yes, he did. We all know it. We all saw it. The end. Cares more about illegal immigrants than he does his own citizens. And we should be clear, this guy is not a citizen of Maryland. I'll get more into Van Hollen coming up because there's another story that's worth paying attention to. Keep an eye on it on the periphery. And it's the talks between the United States and Iran over their nuclear program. I can't believe that there would be anybody who believes what it is the Iranians say about their nuclear program. They're claiming that they made progress. Steve Witkoff, the special envoy for the Middle East, representing the U.S. with Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. Sorry, I believe that's how I pronounce his name. What very good progress? There is no very good progress. There is the Ayatollah being removed and the entirety of any nuclear weapons program being destroyed. So I'm not sure what they mean. No idea. That's why you got to keep an eye on this story. Because this story has ramifications everywhere. Matt Baer has got traffic. What's up, Matthew?
Yeah, Tony, looking good on the interstates except for a couple of spots here. And it's south side, northbound 65, just a little bit slow right now from 465 up to South Keystone Avenue. That's because of a crash on the right shoulder. And then eastbound 74 going to Indianapolis from Brownsburg. Crash after Ronald Reagan Parkway, Ronald Reagan Parkway, just a little bit after that, blocking the left lane. No delay at the moment. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, B Window is extending their employee discount to you. Get 55% off all products and services, plus 18 months, no interest or payments. Trust local. Trust employee owned. Trust your home to bwindow.com. I'm Matt Baer with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Hey guys, it's Rob. Hope you all have a great Easter weekend. Casey's back Monday. We'll see you right here, 9 to noon, 93 WIBC.
Promises made, promises kept. Governor Mike Braun's bold leadership is already getting things done for Hoosiers. Governor Braun and State House Republicans are delivering massive property tax cuts. We're talking nearly $1.5 billion in relief. That's real money back in homeowners' pockets. But Braun didn't stop there. He cut local income tax capacity by nearly $2 billion and capped the local income tax rate to protect Hoosiers. And Braun led the fight to reform local government taxes, giving Hoosiers more say by requiring referendums be held in high turnout elections. Thanks to Governor Braun and State House Republicans, your property taxes will be lower. Future increases are reined in, and the system is now more transparent. Visit HoosierHope.org and let Governor Braun and Republican legislators know you support historic property tax cuts. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
Hey, it's Rob for Universal Windows Direct. If spring cleaning has you thinking about spring upgrading, this is the month to do it. Freshen up your home's look, boost your energy efficiency, and save big during Universal Windows Direct's Spring Home Improvement event. Right now, it's their classic fan favorite offer. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, no limit. And for a limited time, Universal Windows Direct is also offering no interest until 2030. That's right, upgrade your home today and don't pay a cent in interest for 6 whole years. And here's the real spring surprise. Get a bonus $500 off your home improvement project. There's never been a better time to bundle and save with Universal Windows Direct. Some restrictions may apply, so call today, 317-659-7574. 317-659-7574. Get all the information and schedule your totally free in-home estimate. And see everything for yourself on the web, universalwindowsdirect.com, universalwindowsdirect.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
It's the Bash Sale, the biggest automotive sale in history. Your local Bill Estes dealerships are coming in hot with deals on trucks you don't want to miss. We have a huge selection of trucks at one easy online stop. Brand new Chevy, Ford, GMC, Jeep, Ram, and Toyota trucks with a massive pre-owned selection too. Plus, our fair and direct upfront pricing means what you see is what you pay. Shift into savings during the Bash Sale, only at Bill Estes dealerships, and drive away in your dream truck today. Online at BillEstesTrucks.com.
Trust employee owned. B Windows extending our employee discount to you. Up to 55% off, plus 18 months, no interest, no payments. Trust your home to B.
This is Danny Reinhardt with Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Give us a call for any of your heating and cooling needs. We're here to serve you. 317-745-4526.
Reinhardt is your trusted local independent American Standard Air dealer.
Monday on the Hammer and Nigel show, did the boys survive Friday's show? Well, your guess is as good as mine. Let's find out together at 3 o'clock here on 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The Vatican announces Pope Francis died earlier this morning. Your radar is clear and it's 64 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. Your high today is 71. I'm Ryan Hedrick, and here's what's trending at 6:30.
Dear friends, I am most grateful for your invitation to address this joint session of Congress.
That's the Pope speaking to Congress back in 2015, the first pontiff in history to address both chambers.
In the land of the free, at the home of the brave.
Pope Francis spent about a month in the hospital earlier this year with double pneumonia, but was released in time to attend Holy Week services last week. 2 teenagers were arrested early Sunday after leading the cops on a chase through downtown Indianapolis. Around midnight, the chase ended right around Lucas Oil Stadium. A 13-year-old boy faces charges of auto theft, marijuana possession, firearms possessions, and officers recovered a semi-automatic pistol, 6 9mm shell casings, and some weed. Today marks the 129th running of the Boston Marathon.
Boston Mayor Michelle Wu says this year's Boston Marathon has 30,000 participants, and the city is expecting thousands of spectators.
This is the oldest annual marathon in the world, and hosting that event is no easy task. But neither is finishing a marathon, as all of our runners know, or founding a nation, and no one does it better than Boston.
Security is a top priority, and on Friday, officials outlined their multi-layer plan to keep people safe.
And that's Fox's Tanya J. Powers reporting. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Traffic, weather, and sports together in 3 minutes. It's 6:32.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio. I'm Gary Dick. It is a project that could be transformational for Southwest Indiana. 16 companies have committed to a planned munitions campus near Naval Surface Warfare Center Crane Division. Developers think it could attract more than $600 million in private investment and thousands of jobs. Greene County Economic Development Corporation Executive Director Breanne Gerals.
The average salary is $115,000. We want as many of these folks to live in Greene County as possible. Of course, it benefits the entire region if they move outside Greene County, but we would prefer to have them as local as possible.
Eli Lilly and Company plans to manufacture its new weight loss pill in the United States as President Donald Trump presses companies to move production back to American shores. Weight loss drugs that can be taken by mouth rather than injected are seen as the next frontier in obesity. Lilly shares jumped 14% on the news late last week. The Indiana Court of Appeals will travel to Crawfordsville later this month and hear oral arguments in a case involving 4 Indiana cities that have sued Netflix, accusing the company and several other streaming service providers of failing to obtain franchises. Arguments will be held April 29th at Wabash College. According to court documents, in August of 2020, the cities of Fishers, Indianapolis, Evansville, and Valparaiso sued Netflix, DirecTV, Dish Network, Disney, and Hulu. From the state's #1 source for Indiana business news, you're listening to Inside Indiana Business Radio.
We build Indiana. The Laborers International Union of North America builds and maintains roads, bridges, and other essential infrastructure that make us the crossroads of America. So thanks to LIUNA members' work, Hoosiers have a better quality of life, like access to utilities, easier routes to jobs, schools, or medical care, and deliveries keep moving. We build Indiana for good jobs and stronger communities. The Laborers International Union of North America. We are LIUNA.
Indiana's regions are as diverse as the businesses that power them. Discover what's possible for your community at the Innovate Indiana series, presented by Indiana University and Old National Bank. We're hitting 9 regions to explore business expansion and attraction, workforce, entrepreneurship and innovation, and Indiana's tech hubs. First stop, Southwest Indiana, April 29th at the University of Evansville. Hear from Secretary of Education Katie Jenner and local leaders. Reserve your seat at ibj.com/innovate. 4 Indiana communities are using crowdfunding to raise money for a variety of community-based projects. Organizers hope to tap into matching funds that could be provided by the Indiana Housing and Community Development Authority's Creating Places program. That program was established in 2016 and provides up to $50,000 in matching funds for projects that hit their crowdfunding goals. This is Gary Dick for 93 WIBC.
All right, looking at northbound 65 on the south side, crash before Keystone Avenue, blocking the right lane and causing stop-and-go traffic back to 465, delay time of 5 minutes. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Spring's here, and it's time for a new patio. Indy Decorative Concrete is offering free demolition. Offer ends April 30th. Visit IndyDecorativeConcrete.com for details. I'm Matt Baer with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
63 degrees in the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. The time is 6:35. We check on sports. Ryan Hedrick, what's happening?
Tony, the Indiana Pacers lead their best-of-7 playoff series against the Milwaukee Bucks by 1 game. Head coach Rick Carlisle says Tuesday night's game 2 will be tough.
We foul them a lot. We've got to cut down on fouls. The ebbs and flows of a series are so up and down. It's impossible to predict exactly what's going to happen from game to game.
And the Pacers took game 1, 117-98. Pascal Siakam scored 25 points. Tuesday night's game 2 tips off at 7 o'clock. The draft is this week in the NFL. It's in Green Bay, and the Colts have the 14th pick in the first round. Major League Baseball, the Reds hung 24 runs on the Orioles Sunday in a 24-2 win. The Cubs lost to Arizona in 11, 3-2, and the Indianapolis Indians have won 5 in a row. They beat Toledo 10-6. Sports brought to you by Ball State Athletics. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level on the go in at WIBC.com.
As a high school student athlete, it makes a difference when the stands are filled with cheering fans. I'm Reed Robinson from New Prairie High School.
And I'm Autumn Rife from North White High School. It motivates us to do our best when we know our entire school community has our backs.
When they understand the real purpose of high school sports.
When they remember learning life lessons is more important than winning.
When they keep athletic events fun and positive for everyone.
That's what being a champion of high school sports is all about.
Whether you're a parent, fan, coach, official, administrator, or broadcaster, we all have a role to play in championing high school sports.
Thank you for supporting our schools, our communities, and our student athletes.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig. Support the mission of education-based athletics by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events. This is being a champion of high school sports. This is preserving the second classroom. This is your IHSAA.
You make me feel so young.
Congratulations to Ball State for putting an end to all their DEI programs. Okay, they were basically forced to because there would be funding issues if they didn't, compliance issues if they didn't, but still, congratulations. Well done. Proud of you. Chirp, chirp. Tony Katz, 93 WIBC. Good morning. Good to be with you. You have President Mearns saying, over the past 12 weeks, we have worked promptly and diligently to ensure our university is in compliance with President Trump's executive order and guidance from the United States Department of Education. Good. It should never have been there to begin with. Was I going to believe that Ball State was this bastion of bigotry? No. No. It's not Harvard. What, too soon? No? Oh, screw those guys. DEI is bigotry. We know this. We can move on. Oh, there are people who are still screaming about how important and valuable it is, but those people are just desperate to hold on to dollars that don't belong to them. and an ideology that really wants to divide people. Glad that this is all just being wrecked and ruined, and hopefully it will stay on the trash heap of history. Jamie Raskin, the congressman from Maryland, the very radical leftist, who never met an impeachment he didn't like, is now out there giving the warnings that, hey, just so you know, we're going to remember those nations, for example, that worked with President Trump, and we're not going to treat them too kindly. When we come back to power, we are not going to look kindly. Well, good to know that Trump's the authoritarian, Jamie Raskin. Holy hell. I mean, if you want to argue that all these tariffs are nothing more than threats against nations, you don't like it, that's fine. Now you're going to make threats against nations? Okay. I thought that was the problem. But not when you're a Democrat. When you do it when you're a leftist, that's all fine and good. It's pretty ugly stuff. But then again, it's Jamie Raskin. It's all very ugly stuff. We got into this past Thursday, Trump and American Reset in 3 Bourbons. We were there in Kokomo. I'm sorry if you missed it, because it was an absolutely incredible time. The bourbon, the food, the people, the laughs, the cigar afterwards, the whole night. Absolutely spectacular. My thanks to Laser Precision Marksmanship Club, our sponsor. Their whole simulator, like they made a video, like a quick teaser of what took place. I'll put it out. They were tremendous. So great. I only hope you're going to hear much more of them. You can use promo code TonyCats20 and get your discount. Learn how to shoot the right way in a non-judgmental kind of scenario. LaserPMC.com. All of the video interaction, right? You're utilizing these simulators, these video simulators. You're in live action situations or video action situations, and you learn how to react, what you're looking for, improve your skill set. LaserPMC.com. Incredible. And really appreciate everybody who was there and was a part of it. I will tell you the only thing that happened that was a problem was the next day when I went to go clean some things up, and now I have to ask myself when I'm scheduling surgery. That's a true story, and I will explain it in the next hour. Tony Katz, 93 WIBC. Good morning.
Another update is just minutes away.
Pope Francis has died.
Pope Francis passed away in the morning of Easter Monday after his final public appearance.
Hear the news.
Tributes are pouring in from leaders around the world. He was the first pope ever from Argentina and Latin America.
As events happen.
Blowout for the Indiana Pacers, who beat the Milwaukee Bucks on Saturday.
We'll happen to be there.
Game 2, Tuesday at 7 at Gamebridge Fieldhouse.
93 WIBC Mobile News.
For those at risk for Alzheimer's disease, forgetting the little things is a big deal. A local clinical research study, known as the Trailblazer ALS 3 Addendum 7 study, is evaluating an investigational medicine for people who are at risk for developing Alzheimer's disease symptoms to see if it can help stop or slow down the appearance of memory and thinking problems associated with Alzheimer's disease. To learn more, visit lilyadresearch.com/indie. You may be able to take part in this study if you are 65 to 80 years old and have normal memory, thinking, mood, and behavior patterns. Consider the Trailblazer ALS 3 Addendum 7 study today. To learn more, visit lilyadresearch.com/indie.
Hi, Jeff Roush for Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now,
get Lincoln's employee pricing on most all new Lincolns at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers. Get up to $20,000 off select 2024 Navigators, up to $8,000 off select 2024 Nautilus, or up to $7,000 off select 2024 Corsair at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Navigator MSRP 105,575, Nautilus MSRP 6195, Corsair MSRP 47,820. Offers good through 4/30/2025. Navigators excluded from employee pricing. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Still getting around to that fix on your car?
You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place. For changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Traffic on the 5s. Matthew Bear, what do you know?
Hearing about a crash on the near west side, it's White River Parkway and Michigan Street. Also, crash moved to the right shoulder on the south side, northbound 65 before Keystone Avenue. And that has stop-and-go traffic back to Edgewood Avenue. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, B Window is extending their employee discount to you. Get 55% off all products and services, plus 18 months, no interest or payments. Trust a local, trust employee-owned, trust your home to bwindow.com. I'm Matt Bear on the 5s at WIBC Traffic.
63 degrees in the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. The time is 6:45.
I gave it a shot. I came in and had the procedure done. To me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago.
Politics, punchlines, and pure WIBC. The Mashup Podcast pulls the day's best moments from Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, and drops them in one place. New episodes each weekday. Search WIBC Mashup wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, this is Chris Cox, owner of Chimney Solutions, Indiana. We're celebrating our 10th year in business. Call this month to take advantage of 10% off all chimney sweeps and inspections. We're also celebrating the opening of our new fireplace showroom on 86th Street and Lafayette Road. Come and experience our exclusive lines of wood-burning and gas fireplaces.
Call 317-757-6979 or chimneyindy.com.
Big Joe here for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical.
With a B&W Premier Club membership, you'll stay ahead of breakdowns and costly repairs. Our members get routine maintenance, priority scheduling, and exclusive discounts, saving you money and keeping your family comfortable all season long. Visit bplusw.com or call 317-214-0108 for more information.
B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard dealer since 1961.
Of a way to try and get the White House back. Spend more time focused on people in the country illegally than you are citizens. There's no rational way to look at what it is the political left is doing. To try and understand this is going to take much time and possibly 3 bourbons. I've said too much. Tony Katz, 93 WIBC. Good morning. But it's a real bad look for Senator Chris Van Hollen of Maryland to be going down to El Salvador to meet with the guy who's in the country illegally when not meeting with family of those murdered by illegal immigrants in Maryland. That's the ball game. Now, if you want to make the argument that he's really, just standing up for the rule of law, you can make that argument, but America is not buying. And this is where the rubber meets the road. You have a story you want to tell about how the Trump administration is not following the rule of law. Fine. Tell that story. focus directly on that. The political left did not do such a thing because they do what? They always overplay their hand. What the political left said was the Trump administration is not following a court order. These people are innocent and we need to protect them. You want to protect people who are in the country illegally? The political right is nonstop discussing, like we should, what is happening at the hands of those who enter the country illegally. People killed, people raped, fentanyl, etc. All happening under the Biden administration, where there was absolutely no care about the border whatsoever. No work was done, and it was purposeful. Trump is president, and 5 minutes later, the border crossings slow down. And the next thing you know, the border crossings are at a standstill. We see a little bit of an increase in the Big Bend sector. I talk about it because it's like, wow, there's actually an increase because you're seeing these people who are still trying to get into the country go to these places that are more remote to try and be able to sneak in because the protection has gotten so good. Not from new legislation like the political left told us we needed, but rather from the implementation of the legislation. The will to do the job. That's what we're seeing. That's what we're dealing with. So the political left now is on the hook for never having done the job. They want to avoid that. Let's go back to basics here. They could have protected the country. They chose not to. Joe Biden, Alejandro Mayorkas, the former Secretary of Homeland Security, the Senate Democrats, whom when the impeachment of Alejandro Mayorkas was sent to the Senate, they decided to dismiss it instead of vote on it. They wouldn't hear the impeachment. They had no interest in protecting the country. So now I have the president, the secretary, and every Senate Democrat on record. We have no interest in protecting the nation. Then you have the entire media cabal that pushed this idea that we needed this new legislation. You know, if we had passed that legislation from Senator Langford, Republican from Oklahoma, everything would have been better. Never mind that legislation wasn't good legislation. It would have allowed in 5,000 a day. And now we're averaging 8,000 a month. So the legislation was a terrible idea. It was always a terrible idea. I don't know why Senator Langford still talks about it. I don't know why he was ever in favor of it. Because he's really good on a lot of other subjects. But they never need a new legislation. Again, another lie. The media absolutely involved, never asking whether or not this was a value. Just why are those Republicans so intransigent? And now, you don't stand and applaud for the Laken Riley Act or Laken Riley's mother who had to bury her daughter after being raped and killed. That's what Democrats did on the night of the joint address from President Trump. And now you have a senator who doesn't go and speak to family members who lost loved ones to illegal immigrants. No, he goes to El Salvador to make sure that a gangbanger is getting a margarita. You cannot outdo the iconography. It's clear. It's there. The photo is there. It's game over. In every instance, the Democrats do not side with Americans when it comes to immigration and safety and security. Fact. I mean, that's the layout right there. I didn't have to make anything up. I didn't need a cue card. That's just the stuff we most know. Of course, there's 100 other stories that aren't as top of mind. You want to win 2026 like this? Do you really think that's going to take place? Do Indiana Democrats really think that this is something that's going to work for them? This is the way to take back the General Assembly? And after watching what this General Assembly did, maybe not having Republicans as a supermajority wouldn't be a bad thing. Maybe they'd work a little harder. Because as a supermajority, ain't going great for anybody. Your party is leading you to ruin. And Indiana Democrats are like, oh, I guess that's the direction we go. That's the way they walk when they're lemmings going off the cliff. Oh, 2026 cannot be looking pretty. We will discuss more. Right now, Matt Bear has traffic.
Crash heading from Greenfield to Indianapolis. It's westbound 70 near County Road 200 West. It's on the right shoulder. Northbound 65 slows from the north split out to West Street. On the northwest side, northbound 65 slow roll from 465 up to 86. And a crash clear on the south side, northbound 65 before Keystone Avenue. Checking out what's going to the airport right now, and we're going without too much trouble. Westbound 75 from the downtown airport hotels out to the airport collector with Ronald Reagan Parkway at Ameriplex. South side, northbound 65 now slowing down from Southport Road up to Edgewood Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Spring's here, and it's time for a new patio. Indy Decorative Concrete is offering free demolition. Offer ends April 30th. Visit IndyDecorativeConcrete.com for details. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
This is Sammy Terry. There are two things guaranteed in life: death and taxes. Death can be painful, but paying your taxes doesn't have to be, with a little extra cash in your pocket from Indiana Unclaimed. Yes, George, you're right. George the Spider reminds us that Indiana Unclaimed returns over $1 million every single week, and there are hundreds of millions of dollars just waiting to be claimed by the rightful owner. Text Sammy to 46220 to find out if you or your loved ones have unclaimed funds. Claim yours today. Text Sammy to 46220 now.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment and paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
Applied Innovation has made a lot of IT directors happy with their managed print services offering. Listen to a few of them talk about Applied Innovation. Chris Pfeiffer, IT Director for Doran Mayhew.
So we were able to reduce the number of machines that we use, but increase their capacity. And then basically we cut our managed print services bill in half by doing that.
Applied Innovation customer Linda Philly Watson, Director of IT at LaSalle Bristol.
The devices are well managed, they're well maintained, well supported, and that's less time for me. More time for me to spend on other projects, on other priorities.
Applied Innovation customer Craig Gilliam, IT Director for Suncoast Skin Solutions.
I think it's just the simplicity of everything. They're quick, fast, and so if you need any help, they're on the spot.
Applied Innovation, office technology made simple, backed by a partner you can trust. Call Applied Innovation today, 800-521-0983, or visit appliedinnovation.com.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/today. Ethos.com/today.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Build monthly.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recyclers Studios, why a teenager is in the hospital this morning fighting for their life, where a police chase ended and what the cops discovered, and why some services that you depend on could be cut. After Fox News, you are listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis on a Monday morning. It is 7 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. Catholics are in mourning. Pope Francis has died. I'm Dave Anthony. That's the Vatican a short time ago, about 3 hours after we learned of the Pope's passing at the age of 88, as people now gather outside the Vatican to pay their respects.
The Vatican released a statement this morning. It reads in part, at 7:35 this morning, the Bishop of Rome, Francis, returned to the house of the Father. His entire life was dedicated to the service of the Lord and his church. He taught us to live the values of the gospel with fidelity, courage, and universal love, especially in favor of the poorest and most marginalized. The news is heartbreaking and stunning, given that the Pope was just seen in public on Easter Sunday greeting thousands of people in St. Peter's Square. It was his most high-profile event as he continued to recover from his almost fatal bout with double pneumonia.
That's Fox's Madeline Rivera. World leaders are paying tribute to Pope Francis. The White House just posted on X, "Rest in peace." The Pope led the Roman Catholic Church since he was elected in 2013.
Almost from that moment, he signaled changes were coming. The first pontiff from Latin America. The first Jesuit, the first to call himself Francis, would be just a few of the new beginnings. Always setting the example of his own philosophy that servants of the church should be humble and lead simpler lives, and turn down the palatial papal quarters in favor of a more modest residence at the Vatican. He also began speaking frankly about modern issues, famously saying, "Who am I to judge?" when asked about the sexual orientation of priests.
That's Fox's Lauren Green. Father Gerald Murray, a priest at New York City's St. Joseph Church, tells Fox,
"Now the body will be prepared for the funeral. It's the funeral mass the cardinals will decide. It'll probably be within 4 to 6 days. And then after that, there's going to be a period of approximately 10 days where the cardinals will meet together.
And they'll ultimately decide who the next pope will be." America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
2 people are dead. Your radar is clear, and it's 64 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. 71 is your high today. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 7:02.
Fort Wayne City was called to respond to a possible homicide.
That's State Police Sergeant Wes Rollator talking about a shooting that led to a police chase in Whitley County Sunday night. It ended with cops firing their weapons.
When they arrived on scene, a vehicle matching the suspect description had left the scene and fled. They took chase. The Indiana State Police backed them up in that pursuit, which ended up here in Whitley County, which led to the officer-involved shooting.
And no officers were injured during the chase or exchange of gunfire. A teenager is in bad shape this morning after they were shot over the weekend in Lawrence trying to break into a car. The cops say the person that shot the kid has not been charged, but the investigation is not over. 2 teenage boys were arrested after a police chase in downtown Indianapolis early Sunday morning. The cops say it was 2 13-year-old kids who were detained for their involvement. The cops say somebody fired a weapon, but they're not sure if the kids fired their weapon or why. Both teenagers face the same 5 charges involving drugs and guns. You could see some services cut if Indiana lawmakers make a new budget plan that accounts for some serious shortfalls expected in the next 2 years. Here's Chris Davis.
There are 3 reasons: tariffs, and tariffs.
Ball State economics professor Mike Hicks on Which TV's All Indiana Politics.
It is exclusively a consequence of the very deep economic shock that is beginning to wrap around the country and much of the globe.
But former state senator Jim Merritt disagrees, saying he believes lawmakers can hold off making cuts.
Well, I don't know if you need to cut because this is a very conservative budget, because we don't know what the grants
of the federal government to the state of Indiana.
His suggestion is closely monitoring the budget because some tariffs may not last long. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A girl who always wanted to be a police officer had her wish come true.
Because I can help stop crimes and just make the world a little bit, comfortable in its place.
That's Olivia Brown. She has cystic fibrosis. She spent the day with the Plainfield Police on Sunday, riding in cop cars and enjoying the experience. The opportunity was provided by Plainfield Police in Make-A-Wish, Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio. A balanced scoring effort helped the Indiana Pacers knock off the Milwaukee Bucks Saturday. Here's John Herrick.
That's what it sounded like when Miles Turner scored 3 of his 19 points to help the Pacers take Game 1 of this NBA first-round best-of-7 playoff series over Milwaukee by a final score of 117-98 at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Indiana had 6 players score in double figures. They also had 28 assists to Milwaukee's 15. Game 2 is Tuesday night at Gainbridge. Games 3 and 4 are in Milwaukee. Reporting from Gainbridge Fieldhouse in downtown Indianapolis, John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com at 7:05. Traffic on the 5s. Good morning, Matt Bear.
What's happening, Ryan? Looking at northbound 65 on the south side and stop-and-go traffic right now after 465 to Keystone Avenue because of an earlier crash that has cleared. Northbound 65 slows out of the north split to West Street, and a crash in Hancock County. Westbound 70 near County Road 200 West. It's on the right shoulder. And lots of rain, so please watch out for the flooding if you would, please, especially in the city streets and at the underpasses. Turn around, right? Traffic sponsored by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free sky-high silver report and precious metals IRA guide at betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
So that rain is coming to an end. And then what's going to be with us is some sun and some wind. That's basically what we've got. Partly cloudy skies for the rest of the day. No more rain after this coming hour into a nice clear night. Highs today getting to about 66 degrees. And then tomorrow, as we take a look at Tuesday, we're in the same place. A couple of opportunities for some raindrops, nothing serious. Again, the sun will come out in the afternoon. High gets us to about 71 degrees. So the next couple days, looking pretty happy. Right now, as we speak, we've got 63 degrees in the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. The time is 7:07. Hemming and not hemming and hawing. That's not the right word. A lot of sky is falling talk regarding the budget in the state of Indiana. We've got a $2.4 billion shortfall. Look what those terrible Republicans have done. But everybody just stop. Just stop being weird. It's all it takes. Be normal for 5 minutes. You've got a shortfall on projections. You don't know what you have in reality. So why in the world are you completely losing your damn minds? Could you just stop? Tony Katz, 93 WIBC. Good morning. Good to be with you. Budget cuts. Now, wait a second. I'm in favor of the budget cuts regardless. I'm in favor of everybody there in the General Assembly spending less of our money, and I'm in favor of Hoosiers getting it back. They're expecting a $2.4 billion shortfall. It's not even a shortfall. It's less than the expectation, but it's still up. So now they're looking at budget cuts. What can they do? What is it that they can possibly do? Well, if we're going over the programs we can cut, I don't know where to start, but I'm in favor of just about everything. Why not? Why shouldn't I be? Why shouldn't everyone be? If you want to decide you're going to scare people with a shortfall, which isn't a shortfall, so the political left can scream, this is why we need to raise taxes. I think Republicans should take this as an opportunity to say, let's cut everything under the sun, starting with all of their priority policies, because they're so concerned, and they'll be gone. Gone. They're not coming back. They're just cut. They're going to get a 30% cut, a 70% cut, a 12% cut, an 8%, whatever the number is. Why are you losing your heads? And why would anybody, this is the quote via the IBJ from Senator Mishler of Mishawaka. I was here during the recession, the 08, the 09 budget. This one scares me a lot more. The number's a lot higher. And back then, if you remember, we had federal money to backfill it. We don't have any federal money to backfill it. This is all on us. Why does that scare you? Some numbers on a piece of paper scare you. Maybe this is an opportunity to bring us more financially in line with reality. Maybe the budget was too big before, Senator Mishler. What, it wasn't? Go make the case that it wasn't. Maybe the case needs to be made that we have some programs that don't work. Maybe this is about your General Assembly and the supermajority making hard decisions. Bold leadership. I'm sorry, if you want me to lose my mind over this, not a chance. But if you want me to say this is because of mismanagement by the Republican Party and the Democratic Party of Indiana doesn't want to look at the last 4 years of inflation and its effect, you're nuts. You only want to look at tariffs? Nah, I'll look at everything, thank you. At least we will, because we're the honest people here. Not the Indiana Democratic Party. No. We're going to take a look at all of it. We need to be focused on what works for Hoosiers. And if that means a reset of the budget, let's get to it. Spend less of our money. Oh, and give it back to us. Tony Katz, 93 WIBC. Good morning.
Spring is here, and it's time to shake off winter's dust, dirt, and allergens. Hi, this is Denny Smith for Zero Res, and if you're ready for a true spring clean, listen up, because this deal won't last. Right now, get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $119 and $75 off air duct cleaning. That's real savings and the perfect way to refresh your home. Winter leaves behind grime and odors and allergens trapped in your carpets and air ducts. And remember, your air ducts are the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, so is your air. Zero Res's patented ZR water cleans with no soap, no residue, and no harsh chemicals. Just fresh, healthy carpets and air. Beat the spring cleaning rush. Call 317-388-5141 or book online at zeroresindy.com. And don't take my word for it. Just check out 4,900 5-star Google reviews. Call now. Mention WIBC, get 3 rooms clean starting at just $119 plus $75 off air duct cleaning. 317-388-5141 or zeroresindy.com.
That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 765-545-BATH. That's are us. When dreams don't get in, that's are us.
Don't get suckered into the same old free phone game by Big Wireless. There is a better way. Pure Talk, my sponsor, my wireless company, has a better offer. A brand new free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan for $35 a month. You get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 15 gigs of data, all on America's most dependable 5G network. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk for your free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan. Pure Talk, wireless by Americans for Americans.
At Hendricks, our cancer care
is in the details.
When you are with us, and you have our time and you have our energy.
We have a wonderful team of highly trained oncologists, physical therapists, speech pathologists, dietitians.
Always making sure that the patient is the center of the care.
We have excellent nurse navigation that are skilled at identifying barriers to treatment,
as well as expertise from Mayo Clinic.
It is more personal care than just a number.
Visit hendricks.org/cancer.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. April is here, so that means it's our Dare to Compare sale. Compare our prices to any of the big stores in Indianapolis, your town, it doesn't matter. We guarantee you the lowest price on every sofa, sectional, recliner, mattress, outdoor furniture, anything, plus no extra fees, no delivery charge. Hurry, sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Traffic on the 5s, Matt Bear, what's happening?
Northbound 65, northwest side slow. 465 up to 86th Street. Inbound 69 slow roll after 106 down to 82nd. And the crash cleared in Hancock County. Boom. Traffic sponsored by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA guide at betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
We've got 63 degrees in the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. The time is 7:15.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Bring on the popcorn moment, presented by Boer Remodeling, BOOHER, BoerRemodeling.com. Day in and day out, bringing you the popcorn moment, just like you want to have a kitchen that you can use day in and day out. They have got you covered by taking that space that's outdated, that's no longer working for you, and improving the layout, improving the function. If you're somebody who likes to entertain, then Boer Remodeling is the one and only call to make, because you're staying in your home and you want your home to work for you. Boer Remodeling, they can take that old kitchen, deteriorating, broken down, just simply not with the times, and turn it into something amazing, increasing the value of your home and increasing the value of your life. Their 5-step process, start to finish, from the consultation to that preliminary design to how you develop that design into exactly what it is you're looking for, and getting that construction done perfectly. The best materials, the most skilled craftsmen in Central Indiana. Boer Remodeling, BOOHER, BoerRemodeling.com is the one and only call to make when you want quality work on time with a service-oriented attitude. Talk to them today. 317-852-5546. Tell them Tony Cat sent you. 317-852-5546. Boer Remodeling, 852-5546, or online at Boer, BOOHER, BoerRemodeling.com. The popcorn moment. Let's go. Let's make that happen. It's a story you need to hear to believe. Then grab your popcorn, because there is more. David Hogg is the vice chair of the Democratic National Committee. This is where the Democratic Party is, and he is making an argument. Never mind what we think of him as a person. Never mind what a man-child this is. He wasn't there at the shooting at Parkland, but he became the spokesperson. He didn't have the mind or the grades, but they gave him Harvard, proving how worthless a Harvard degree is. And it is. It has zero value. It used to. Those days are over. And the Democratic Party voted for him to be in charge. He's making an argument. And his argument is that Democrats aren't bold enough and aren't strong enough. That's an incredible thing to say. His argument is that people like James Carville are bringing the party down because they're not actually engaged in challenging Democrats to do better. But what does do better mean? It means be more progressive. It means be more liberal. This is his argument. And over there on the Sunday show, he's having a back and forth with the former RNC chair, Reince Priebus. Now, Reince Priebus is a nice dude. He is not, I think, great at these things at all. But here's how some of that went.
Be very careful, because many of those seats are in
As a former party chairman, Reince, how would you handle a vice chair who was going to primary?
Well, I'll answer and then I'll explain it. I mean, unfortunately, David, I'd have you removed from the party because I think, number one, I think you're sincere. I don't question that. I think you're right. The Democrats are a complete mess. They have no movement.
I don't think that's exactly what he said.
They've got no. Well, he said they've got no message. They've got no movement. They've got no leader. I mean, it doesn't get any worse than that. I mean, you're defending Harvard. You're traveling to El Salvador for MS-13 gang members. But here's the point.
Alleged.
You're taking $20 million. If I'm looking at someone, my vice chair of the RNC, taking $20 million for another effort, it's $20 million out of the DNC's pocket. You can't be on the board of the Fishing and Forest Company and on Greenpeace at the same time.
This is because David Hogg wants to challenge Democrats in primaries. These Democrats are too weak. These Democrats bring no value. They're not working hard enough. Challenge them in primaries with other Democrats, more progressive Democrats. And then what you'll get are people working harder. You'll get a better result. That's the David Hogg theory. This theory, by the way, after being unveiled, made him spend $100,000 to give to the DCCC, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, to show that he was serious about getting Democrats elected and making Hakeem Jeffries the Speaker of the House. He's already backtracking. But listen to the conversation as it unfolds between Reince Priebus and David Hogg, who heads up the DNC.
There are places for groups to hold the party accountable. I think it's right.
Yeah, let me push back against that. This was not an MS-13 gang member, and you damn well know that.
Oh, come on.
He was not.
Okay,
and
so keep defending this guy.
The administration admitted this was wrong. In America, we have due process, and we are a land of law and order. We are a land of law and order. And this administration is repeatedly showing time and time again they do not care about what the Supreme Court says. They do not care about the rule of law. And you cannot defend sending people to another country.
Just did a poll
to another country where they don't have
Americans
rights.
think that
where he's
all
denied counsel,
illegal immigrants
due process,
should be deported,
and so much more.
by the way. So you're losing your effort. So if you want to try to defend the constitutionality of deporting a illegal immigrant that's here.
He's checking with immigration services every single year.
He's here illegally. The Intel community, every Intel community agency and the White House say he is a member of MS-13.
Hey, Reince. Okay, Reince.
So you forgive me. I thought I had the other clip where we were talking about him and the party. But it's a great example of a total lack of focus and not looking at their own history. To the Democratic Party, you can't get away with the idea of saying, what about the Constitution? What about law and order? Now, since I'm already on the record on the idea that this one guy, Abrego Garcia, should be brought back to the United States, but he doesn't get to live in Maryland, he stays in a jail cell until you can deport him somewhere else. Find another country that'll take him. Goodbye. Or you stay in a jail cell for forever. You're here illegally. You don't get just to hang out in Maryland. Nah, it doesn't work like that. And yes, multiple conversations from multiple agencies and courts saying that he is either a part of or associated with MS-13. We know this to be true. But the Democratic Party can't talk about law and order when you watch cities like Indianapolis burn from George Floyd riots and you said nothing. You said nothing in Minneapolis. You said nothing in Seattle. You said nothing in Portland. You have seen theft everywhere, and you're like, well, it's a victimless crime. Nancy Pelosi said people are going to do whatever it is they do. You don't get to talk about law and order. You don't get that argument. America laughs in your face. You don't get that. You allowed a porous border for 4 years. The blood of Lake and Riley, and name other women and men and children on your hands. not because bad things happen, but because you wouldn't admit that the bad thing could be prevented, or at least try. The rule of law. You're the people who saw the Supreme Court say you can't pay off student loans and were thrilled when Joe Biden said, I'm doing it anyway. You didn't care about the rule of law. It didn't matter. Didn't matter. And the difference is Biden never had the authority to do such a thing. But when it comes to the Alien Enemies Act, the president does have the authority to do such things. First, he wants to tell you that Democrats need to be more bold, does David Hogg, leader of the Democrats. Notice he's the guy on the Sunday show. And then, what is the more bold? The more bold is being in favor of people who are here illegally and making the claim that it's the Republicans who don't follow the rule of law, when the history of the past 5 years, 6 years, says very, very, very much different. Oh, Tony, it was the Republicans who were involved with January 6th, don't you know? Okay, America has voted on this, and they have found that argument wanting. The people who had their city burnt to the ground, had their local businesses destroyed, they still carry scars. But if you want to argue, after everything I just laid out, which is not a full comprehensive list of Democrats failing to be law-abiding, if you want to make the argument that Republicans aren't law-abiding, you knock yourself out, boo-boo. Look forward to gaining the majority in 26. Look forward to seeing you run Ocasio-Cortez in 28. And I put forth to you that the people saying be very wary about Ocasio-Cortez, I think that you are overthinking her popularity. I will discuss. Right now, Matt Baer has traffic. What's up, Matthew?
Northbound 65 slow out of the north split 2 west. Inbound 69 slow roll 96th Street down 282nd. And now looking at the east side, northbound 465. A little bit tight after 70 up to Penn Pike. Not too bad at the moment. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, B Window is extending their employee discount to you. Get 55% off all products and services plus 18 months, no interest or payments. Trust a local, trust employee owned. Trust your home to bwindow.com. I'm Matt Baer on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Monday on the Hammer and Nigel show, did the boys survive Friday's show? Well, your guess is as good as mine. Let's find out together at 3 o'clock here on 93 WIBC.
In Indiana, spring means spring cleaning, getting organized, putting away winter clothes, hosting, just kind of hosing down the patio furniture, all of that stuff. Make sure to add refreshing your financial portfolio to the list. My friends at Trajan Wealth, the money management professionals, the fiduciary advisors, can provide that much needed refreshing. Matt Baer here. Hey, Trajan Wealth is Indiana to the core with principles like smart money management and hard work at their foundation. Call for your first consultation. It's free. 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Trajan Wealth, your fiduciary advisors, ready to customize a portfolio that reflects your timeline and your hopes and dreams. Call and schedule a consultation at 317-480-4040 or visit TrajanWealth.com. Remember, your first appointment is on them. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
Premier Deck Coating, the ultimate deck protection. Who are they? Well, they're a sister company of Rhino Shield, and Premier Deck Coating is the product you need if you're tired of applying the same old stain and paint every couple of years to your deck. It's Terry, Stacy, and David and I have a deck that's probably 25 years old. The countless hours and the money that we spend on maintaining that deck never ends. And then we heard about Premier Deck Coating. family owned, based right here in Indy, and they are going to completely transform our deck with their special formulated product, which repels moisture, scratch resistant in virtually any color that we want, and backed by a 10-year guarantee. No more spending time staining or painting every year. Premier Deck Coating will keep our deck looking great for years to come. Premier Deck Coating can also do fences and pergolas too. For a free quote, call 317-696-4071 or visit premierdeckcoating.com.
Hi, Jeff Roush for Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now, get Lincoln's employee pricing on most all new Lincolns at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers. Get up to $20,000 off select 2024 Navigators, up to $8,000 off select 2024 Nautilus, or up to $7,000 off select 2024 Corsair at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Navigator MSRP 105,575, Nautilus MSRP 6195, Corsair MSRP 47,820. Offers good through 4/30/2025. Navigators excluded from employee pricing. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
High school sports are a true team sport and not just for the starting lineup. I'm Claire Hack from Jennings County High School.
And I'm Grayson Mealy from Westell High School. That's because every person involved in high school sports is essential.
Each student athlete contributes something unique to the team.
Coaches guide and mentor their athletes on and off the field.
Officials protect the integrity of the sports they love.
Fans unite and cheer for their team as one.
Without any one of them, high school sports simply aren't the same. That's what makes them a true team sport.
It takes everyone coming together to achieve the ultimate purpose, preparing student athletes like us for life.
Whatever role you play, thank you for being on our team.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Neidig. Thank you for being a champion of high school sports by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events. This is rallying around our student athletes. This is being a good teammate. This is your IHSAA.
Spring's here and it's time for a new patio. Indy Decorative Concrete is offering free demolition. Offer ends April 30th. Visit IndyDecorativeConcrete.com for details.
The Attorney General's office wants to put your money back in your pocket. Visit indianaunclaimed.gov and search for yourself, your loved ones, or your business. It's fast, easy, and free.
This is Danny Reinhardt with Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Give us a call for any of your heating and cooling needs. We're here to serve you. 317-745-4526.
Reinhardt is your trusted local independent American Standard Air dealer.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Vatican City mourns the death of Pope Francis. Your radar is clear in downtown Indianapolis, where it's 63 degrees. Your high today is 71. I'm Ryan Hedrick from Michaelis Corporation. Here's what's trending at 7:31. Hundreds of millions of people around the world are mourning the loss of Pope Francis, who died early this morning at the age of 88.
Francis suffered from chronic lung disease and had part of one lung removed as a young man and was admitted to the hospital in February and diagnosed with double pneumonia. He spent 38 days there.
Taylor Davis of Fox Cincinnati TV affiliate WXIX at the Cathedral Basilica of St. Peter and Shanes of Cincinnati.
This news is impacting many across the world. Right here in Cincinnati, the Archbishop of Cincinnati, Reverend Robert Casey, has spoken out, a quote in part, "As we commend a good and faithful servant to God, let us remember that Pope Francis proclaimed 2025 as a Jubilee year of hope, awakening us to Christ, who is alive and present in our midst."
And Pope Francis made history in 2013 as the first Latin American pope. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is accused of sharing war plans in a second signal chat.
The New York Times, citing several sources, says Hegseth sent details of an attack on Houthis in Yemen to a second signal group chat. Allegedly, this group included his wife, brother, and personal lawyer. This after he sent text messages about an attack on Yemen in a group that included a journalist from The Atlantic. Chief Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell issuing a statement dismissing the allegations as untrue, blasting the Times for taking the grievances of disgruntled former employees as a sole source of their article. 3 Defense Department aides were fired from the Pentagon last week over concerns about unauthorized leaks. They claim they were slandered.
That's Fox's Sue Guzman reporting. You may hear of state lawmakers making serious cuts to the state budget this week, which could affect some services that you depend on. While some people blame tariffs, former state senator Jim Merritt says you should hold off on making cuts.
We don't know what tariffs are going to be permanent. There could be zero baseline tariff with Mexico and Canada by 10 days from now.
And he tells Wish TV's all Indiana politics lawmakers should closely monitor the budget. If need be, call a special budget session next year. Gas prices are falling across Indianapolis this week. Gas under $3 a gallon across most of the city. You could get gas cheap on the west side at about $2.88 a gallon. Sports on WIBC brought to you by Ball State Athletics. Visit ballstatesports.com. Indiana Pacers center Miles Turner blocked 4 shots in Saturday's 117-98 win over the Milwaukee Bucks. He says protecting the rim is a key part of what the team plans to do moving forward.
Momentum changers or momentum shifters at that. I think it's huge, especially when you're at home. You know, you have to keep the crowd into the game. It's a big part of the playoffs, something I've learned just in my experience because, just momentum plays a huge part in just I guess our style of play as well.
And game 2 is set for tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. It's draft week in the NFL, and Colts general manager Chris Ballard says he works closely with head coach Shane Steichen and owner Jim Irsay when it comes to making big decisions.
We don't always agree in the initial moments, but as we work through whatever issues we have and come to a final decision, then we're all on board and we're all moving forward in the same direction.
And the Colts had the 14th overall pick in Thursday's first round, which the NFL draft will be held in Green Bay. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level on the go and at WIBC.com at 7:35. Traffic on the 5s. Here's Matt Bear.
Northbound 65 on the south side. That's a crash after Southport Road. And right now, looks like it's on the shoulder, slowing us down after Southport Road back to Stop 11 Road. Northbound 6570, stop and go traffic, Michigan Street through the North Split out to Meridian Bend. Inbound 69, 4-minute delay from 106th Street to 82nd. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Spring's here. It's time for a new patio. Indy Decorative Concrete is offering free demolition. Offer ends April 30th. Visit IndyDecorativeConcrete.com for details. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
63 degrees in the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. The time is 7:36.
Whenever I'm out wandering, chasing a rainbow dream, I often stop and think about a place I've never seen. Where friendly
Today on the marketplace, 1996 is vintage? Really? Why wasn't I notified? Tony Katz, 93 WIBC. Good morning. Good to be with you. During downtime, I'm clearing my head. I'm getting ready for what's next on the show. I find myself on Facebook Marketplace. It's got odd stuff, weird stuff, interesting stuff, strange stuff, cool stuff. I've bought, I've sold. The Marketplace brought to you by IndianaUnclaimed.gov. It's your cash. No, actually, it's your cash, and it's waiting for you. Check it out for yourself at IndianaUnclaimed.gov. They bring this in. We've got everything we've ever done on the happy hour, on the marketplace right there. We've got it all right there. Anytime I'm with Matt Bear and producer Carl, it is the happy hour because they're just joyous people. Joyous people indeed. This, Matt Bear, is a watch that is on a ring. So let's say you wanted to know what time it is, but you've got, supple wrists. Perhaps delicate.
Bloated wrist.
Right. Right. And on your wrist, I work with Von Reist. I'm their brand ambassador, assembled right here in Indiana. So you're already covered on your wrist at vonreist.com. So you need something else. So you get yourself a watch on a ring. On a ring, you have it. Just look at your finger and be like, I know what time it is. This is a Joe Boxer watch ring. Do you remember Joe Boxer?
Yeah, they made boxers.
Right. And had a smiley face on it.
Oh, yeah.
And so you had a giant smiley face on your butt or maybe in the front, and it was naughty.
You said that or Victoria's Secret, one or the other.
Wow, producer Carl, there are children listening.
Thank you, Carl.
So with that, it's this Joe Boxer ring. It needs a new battery. And I never saw one of these. According to the description, this was all the rage. It was all the rage.
I don't remember this being all the rage. I don't remember raging over the Joe Boxer finger watch.
No. Never once did I look at my mother and say, why don't you love me? No, wait, hold on. I totally remember that.
Yeah, I did that
You
too.
know what? I remember it like it was yesterday because I'm pretty sure it happened.
I did it on Easter.
And I never once said, where's my ring watch? Why? No, it didn't happen. Right? I'm with you. So I don't remember being all the rage. So it's $30. It needs a new battery. Pickup only, no holds, no shipping. It's in Columbus, Indiana. I know how much you love Columbus.
Oh, beautiful downtown. Beautiful courthouse.
Right.
Yeah, Columbus.
Right. Here's the story. Vintage 1996 Joe Boxer watch ring. 1996 is vintage, Matt Bear?
No, I mean, I guess so. Counting Crows are classic rock now. So is Pearl Jam and Dave Matthews Band. So yeah.
Can I give an unpopular opinion?
Sure.
Pearl Jam sucks.
I mean, you could think their politics suck, but their music was really good.
What if I think both?
Then you could think both. I'm just saying 1996 is vintage music. That was my only point I was making.
Okay, you're right. I should only focus on that. 1996 is vintage is insane. I don't know what to do with that information. That's hard to process.
Well, I mean, you have the Swatch type design here, you know? I mean, it kind of reminds you of a Swatch. You have the Joe Boxer, that's 90s, and then you have the smiley face, which is also 90s. I mean, there's a lot of 90s. This looks like a 90s thumb. So there's a lot of, if you really want to get back to those days of high school, this would be the $30 to spend.
By the way, the best part of this photo, if you look at the full photo on the listing at Facebook, whoever she is wearing this watch ring has ripped jeans, and so she's showing off some knee.
Nice. Ooh.
Damn. Seriously? Nice. Now you don't do it, Carl?
This will satisfy my knee fetish.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Carl.
God, show up to rehearsal just once, for the love of the Lord. $30. You in or out on this, Matt Bear?
I'm out. I don't need to relive the night. No, I did the 90s. I'm okay. I'm out of that now.
Okay.
It was a good time, man. The days of tramp stamps are gone.
Are you a tramp stamp guy?
I was. I mean, well, actually, Carl and I had a brief discussion about this before the segment.
About tramp stamps?
Yes, absolutely. They're good in the moment, but after a period of time, you may not.
They don't
want
age
that
well.
Yeah, you may not want that there anymore. Yeah.
When you say they don't age well, producer Carl, you mean she didn't age well.
Ouch, Carl!
That's what
are you
saying.
doing? That's mean as hell, Carl.
I know. Can you believe Carl said that? Can you believe producer Carl did such a thing?
I'm appalled.
The stamp doesn't age well on the lady when she becomes a mother.
So now you're opposed to children?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Bear and I would like to apologize for the words of producer Carl. We find that despicable. Tell him there, Matt Bear.
Carl, you are despicable. You know nothing about tramp stamps.
How do you think she became a mom to begin with? Tramp stamp. Letting the world know I'm ready.
Hey, I just opened my DMs too, so if you want to
slide right in there. If you've got a nice dolphin,
if you got a nice
or a butterfly,
the butterfly or the angel, that says, or maybe I like the sayings that come down the side, the little Confucius quotes that they tattoo on their sides. Those are cool too.
But that's on the side.
Yeah,
that's different.
Well, I mean, these days you can see everything. So,
the full marketplace settle is there at WIBC.com. When we return, surgery or no for Tony? No, seriously, this is happening. What? Oh, it was a rough Friday. I'll tell you all about it coming up. Tony Katz at 93 WIBC. Good morning. Your next roof, your new roof, your fixed roof. Listen, no matter what you need for your roof, you need somebody who's a professional to get up there and find out what's going on. You need Moss Roofing, MOSS, mossroofing.com. All the rain that we've had, do you know if you have any leaks? All the wind, has it had any effect on your roof? We have had tornadoes go through. Who's taking a look to make sure you're ready for the next rainstorm? Moss Roofing, MOSS, mossroofing.com will be able to tell you whether you've got just a small leak that could be repaired, a bigger roofing issue that could lead to mold and rot, extensive structural damage, and then with 35 years of experience, located right here in central Indiana, they can help you protect your home from the unpredictable, not only spring weather, but all the seasons that Indiana has to offer, which at last count is at least 100. Talk to Moss Roofing today. Don't wait for a minor drip to turn into major repairs. Call Moss Roofing, 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665. Moss Roofing, 747-3665, or online at Moss, MOSS, mossroofing.com.
Life moves fast.
Another new directive from Donald Trump.
President Trump will not be deterred to make our federal government more efficient.
So does the news.
We expect those meetings to take place very soon.
Decisions made today.
I'm not a big fan of the Atlantic.
No threats to national security.
Could impact you tomorrow.
Accountability and transparency.
What's next?
You never know what's going to happen.
Need to know what happened.
We're already tracking it. Stay in the know while you're on the go on 93 WIBC.
Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA Guide at betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance.
Traffic on the fives. Matt Bear, what's up?
All right, looking at the south side, crash northbound 65 near Edgewood Avenue. It's on the right shoulder, and stop and go traffic back to Southport Road. Northbound 65 slows from the north split out to Meridian Penn and backed up to Michigan Street. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Spring's here, and it's time for a new patio. Indy Decorative Concrete is offering free demolition. Offer ends April 30th. Visit IndyDecorativeConcrete.com for details. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the fives. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
We've got 64 degrees in the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. The time right now is 7:45.
Why do so many foundation, basement, and crawl space companies ask for half your money up front? Could it be because that's easier to get than earning all your trust? At the Michaelis Corporation, they believe trust is earned, not demanded. That's why they do things differently. They start with a free inspection, no strings attached, to give you an honest assessment of what your home needs. No pressure, no surprises. When it's time for the work, they don't ask for a deposit or any upfront payment. Not a single dollar until the job is complete and you're 100% satisfied. That's how they've been earning trust for over 39 years. Whether it's sagging floors, moisture control, concrete repair, or a full crawl space encapsulation, you can count on Michaelis for repairs that last. Don't trust just anyone with your home. Choose the company that puts your trust first. Text or call 844-FIXED-INDY today. That's 844-FIXED-INDY. The Michaelis Corporation, building trust beneath your feet.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Technology Recyclers is the safe and ethical choice for your computer and electronics recycling. R2 certified, 100% landfill free, guaranteed destruction of data, and absolutely free pickups. Visit tech-recyclers.com.
You support them. Who supports you? Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide insight, encouragement, and resources to help you navigate a loved one's recovery on the Supporting Sobriety podcast. Listen and get support wherever you get your podcasts.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/today. Ethos.com/today.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Hi, this is Denny Smith for LD Smith Plumbing. Joining me now is really the head of the whole company. Lance thinks he's the boss, but it's really not. It's Jennifer. You're the proud mother of LD Smith Plumbing, whether you want the job or not. How much fun is it to see those 5-star reviews?
It is the best. We love to review those with the guys. To see their smiling faces and know that we have done such a good job in the field is just priceless. My goal is always to make their day a little bit easier. For any plumbing issue, it's ldsmithplumbing.com.
I preface the following story by saying a couple of things. First, there are things far worse than this. Tony Katz, 93 WIBC, good morning. I also preface this by saying this is an only me story. Only I could have this happen in the way that it happened. We were there in Kokomo. This was Thursday, Trump and American Reset in 3 bourbons. Such an incredible night. I thank you, everybody who attended, who was there, who was part of it, who hung around. Like 60 people more were smoking cigars at the end of the night. It was hilarious. It was so enjoyable. Everybody was terrific. So much fun. The bourbon from Heaven Hill was out of control, how good it was, and flowing, and it was terrific. The food from Big Hoffa's Barbecue in Westfield, the desserts from Circle City Sweets, fantastic evening. And, of course, our sponsor, Laser Precision Marksmanship Club, laserpmc.com. It was, people were able to shoot on this video simulator and learn, and now they're heading over there, laserpmc.com, and making the reservations to learn how to be better and bringing family, bringing friends. It's terrific. Anyway, that night, we grabbed some things like we're coming back tomorrow to tear it all down. And so I drive up in the morning. I took the day off. I'm going to tear it down. I'm going to just relax the day, really think about it. I had torn down everything. Everything was good. Everything was already packed up. But I had these TVs. We had these video boards, and we were showing things during the event, and I sold them at the end of the night. I didn't want to take them home. I didn't have storage for them. I just sold them. Boom. Done. And this woman comes, I'm not going to use her name, to pick up the TVs, and she had brought a truck. And I'm like, I'm going to help you get these TVs in the truck. And I had moved these TVs. I had set these TVs up by myself. I had put them on tables. I had moved them to other I had done everything with them for the last few days. I go to pick up this TV. At this moment, I'll remind you, for the many of you who met me for the first time, I was doing an event in Carmel 12 years ago, and I was in a brace. My right arm was in a brace. Why? Because in a very odd moment of opening up a third row of car seats, I had torn my distal bicep tendon. That's pretty gross. What connects your bicep to your radius? Yeah. I ripped that in half. And it was a surgery, and it was a mess, and it was painful, and it was a nerve issue. It took well over a year to have my arm back, but more than that, to get the feelings in all my fingers back. It was terrible. Fast forward 12 years. I go to grab the TV. My left arm, pop, 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 pop. I did it to my left arm on Friday. I yell out, I can't believe I did it again. And you know, it's like it's a serious injury, but it's not that it's painful. Like, it's not painful right now, but it certainly was then. I can feel the cold sweat on my forehead. I'm like, okay, I gotta lay down. But here is this woman. I'm not sure how old she is. She's 5'2". She's a lovely woman. I'm like, I have to lay down. She's like, did you just do that? I'm like, I certainly did just do that. I go to lay down. She's like, don't worry, I'm a general contractor. And she picks up the damn TV and takes it to her truck on her own. Only I, after all that, could injure myself in a way that's going to require surgery. And here comes this woman to say, oh, lay down, honey. I've got it. And then pick up both TVs, put them in the truck and say, gotta go, and drives off. So anyway, most probably this week I'm having surgery. I'm fine. As I said, there are worse things. But if anybody's got a reason for distal bicep tendons not to have the surgery, I'm all ears. Matt Bear's got traffic.
Inbound 69, stop and go traffic, 116th Street down 282nd for a 9-minute delay. Downtown, northbound 65 slows out of the north split to Meridian Penn. South side crash, northbound 65 after Southport Road. It's on the right shoulder, slowing traffic back to Southport Road. And then we have the east side, northbound 465 slow roll from 70 up to Penn Pike. Running from downtown hotels out to the airport this morning, maybe doing some ride sharing, looking good on westbound 70 to the airport collector with Ronald Reagan at Ameriplex. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, B Window is extending their employee discount to you. Get 55% off all products and services, plus 18 months, no interest or payments. Trust local, trust employee owned, trust your home. To bwindow.com. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer, owner of Comer & Cross Concrete Floors. If you're even thinking about a new garage floor, I promise you will love your new Comer & Cross garage floor more than any home improvement you do. Every single day for years to come. That's why so many builders use Comer & Cross. And Comer & Cross patios look way better than a new one at a fraction of the cost. Comer & Cross garage floors and patios are the gold standard. Guaranteed to never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And we make it so easy. We are all courteous uniform pros. We have the equipment and know-how to fix your concrete perfectly before applying your gleaming, new, proprietary Comer & Cross finish. We even take your stuff out for you. For your quick and easy, no sales pressure estimate, please call us right now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to comercross.com.
You love spring in Indy, so don't spend it painting. Do what your neighbor Mike did. He called Rhino Shield.
Our home is basically a contemporary, and we just started noticing that the paint was just fading and just looked like garbage. We had received a postcard from Rhino Shield, and we decided to take a look at it.
Rhino Shield's formulated for our specific climate here in Indiana.
The process with Rhino Shield and their crew, they were just very conscientious. We had problems in the past with painters. They leave debris and everything. Well, we didn't have that with Rhino Shield.
Way better than paint, backed by a 25-year warranty. Right now, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
The thing about Rhino Shield, the heat gain has been reduced, and we save $70 a month. You don't hear that about any type of paint.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Turning 65, new to Medicare, or just moved? If you qualify for Medicare and Medicaid, a Humana Dual Eligible Special Needs Plan, a DSNP, may give you the extra benefits you're looking for. A D-SNP helps cover things like prescriptions and checkups, but it also helps pay for essentials too. With a Humana D-SNP, you get $225 a month for eligible groceries, rent, utilities, and more. Plus, whatever you don't spend carries over to the next month. You may even get benefits like $0 copays on routine prescriptions, plus routine dental, vision, or hearing coverage. All of this could make a difference for your health and wallet. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a coordinated care HMO SNP plan with a Medicare contract and a contract with the Indiana Medicaid program. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal. Allowance amounts cannot be combined with other benefit allowances. Limitations and restrictions may apply.
Promises made, promises kept. Governor Mike Braun's bold leadership is already getting things done for Hoosiers. Governor Braun and State House Republicans are delivering massive property tax cuts. We're talking nearly $1.5 billion in relief. That's real money back in homeowners' pockets. But Braun didn't stop there. He cut local income tax capacity by nearly $2 billion and capped the local income tax rate to protect Hoosiers. And Braun led the fight to reform local government taxes, giving Hoosiers more say by requiring referendums be held in high turnout elections. Thanks to Governor Braun and State House Republicans, your property taxes will be lower. Future increases are reined in, and the system is now more transparent. Visit HoosierHope.org and let Governor Braun and Republican legislators know you support historic property tax cuts. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recyclers Studios, why some services that you depend on could go away soon. Why a teenager is in the hospital this morning and fighting for their life. What the cops say happened in Northeast Indiana and what the Pacers are up to after their Game 1 win. After Fox News, you're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis on a Monday morning. It is 8 o'clock.
This is a Fox News alert. People are gathering at the Vatican, paying respects to Pope Francis. I'm Dave Anthony. It's just 4 hours after we learned the Pope died this morning at the age of 88.
He was such an eloquent preacher of divine mercy, but we also offer gratitude to God for the gift. The gift that he was.
That's Cardinal Timothy Dolan a few minutes ago at St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City.
He was the first pope from the Americas. He was a symbol of humility and compassion for the poor and downtrodden. Now he is gone. Here's part of a brief message from the Vatican. Dearest brothers and sisters, with deep sorrow, I must announce the death of our Holy Father Francis. At 7:35 this morning, the Bishop of Rome, Francis, returned to the house of the Father. His entire life was dedicated to the service of the Lord and his church. He taught us to live the values of the gospel with fidelity, courage, and universal love, especially in favor of the poorest and most marginalized.
As Fox's Greg Palcott, Pope Francis led the Catholic Church since replacing Benedict in 2013.
I was shocked when I got the phone call this morning saying he had passed away.
That's because Father Gerald Murray, a priest at St. Joseph's in New York, tells Fox the Pope was so active celebrating Easter just yesterday in Rome.
I saw him and I was saying, my goodness, he's really recovered a lot of strength and energy. He got in the Pope-mobile and they travel around St. Peter's Square. They brought babies up to him to touch and to kiss. And I said, my goodness, he's putting a strain on himself, but he looks pretty good.
That was after the Pope spent 5 weeks hospitalized in February into March, suffering from double pneumonia. World leaders are paying tribute. The White House posted on X this morning, rest in peace, putting up a picture of the Pope with Vice President Vance. The two briefly met yesterday. Vance, in a statement on X, wrote, "My heart goes out to millions of Christians all over the world who loved him." America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A state budget shortfall. You have a cloudy sky, but a clear radar in downtown Indianapolis where it's 63 degrees. Your high today is 71. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 8:02.
Because our job, one, more important than any other legislation that we pass, is to make sure we pass a budget that is balanced and done so with integrity and not gimmicks. So that's going to be hard to do now, but we're going to get it done.
That's Indiana Senate Pro Tem Roderick Bray talking about balancing the budget. Some services that you depend on could go away because of a budget forecast released last week shows a shortfall. Here's Chris Davis.
The thing that we want to protect and hold to the longest is trying to protect K-12. That's a big priority, I think, for everyone.
That's Speaker of the Indiana House, Todd Houston. But that may be difficult to actually do.
And there are only 2 or 3 big areas that we spend money in: Medicaid and in K through 12 and higher education.
Ball State economics professor Mike Hicks on Wish TV's All Indiana Politics. He says all other items are small and difficult to cut because Indiana already has a conservative budget. Former State Senator Jim Merritt suggests holding off on the cuts because we don't know what tariffs are permanent. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A shooting, a police chase, and 2 men dead. That's what happened Sunday night in Whitley County, says Indiana State Police Sergeant Wes Rollader.
Fort Wayne City was called to respond to a possible homicide. When they arrived on scene, a vehicle matching the suspect description had left the scene and fled. They took chase. The Indiana State Police backed them up in that pursuit, which ended up here in Whitley County, which led to the officer-involved shooting.
And no cops were hurt during the chase or the shooting. Indiana State Police are looking into this. Deputies arrested a man early Saturday after they were told he was sleeping in somebody's home. Here's Jake McDaniel.
And that's when the person in their home called police. Officers arrived on a county road in Pittsboro around 6:30. They tried talking to the man by using a PA system, which was in their car. About 2.5 hours later, the man finally left the home. Officers say he had alcohol on him, and he was taken to Hendricks County Jail. The man was identified as Nicholas Johnson, and he now faces charges of residential entry and drinking underage. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And the Indiana Pacers started their postseason Saturday with a big win. Here's John Herrick.
What you're hearing there is what the closing seconds sounded like at Gainbridge Fieldhouse on Saturday when the Pacers knocked off the Milwaukee Bucks 117-98. 6 players scored in double figures for Indiana. They were led by Pascal Siakam, who had 25. The 36 points the Bucks got from Giannis Antetokounmpo was not enough. The Pacers lead this first-round best-of-7 series 1-0. Game 2 is Tuesday night. Reporting from Gainbridge Fieldhouse in downtown Indianapolis, John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level on the go. And at WIBC.com at 8:05. Traffic on the 5s. How the roads looking, Matt Bear?
Not bad, Ryan. We have some slowdowns. Inbound 69 is stop and go 116th Street, 282nd. That's a 7-minute delay right now. Downtown, northbound 65, 70 slow after Michigan Street to Meridian Penn. East side northbound 465 slow after 72 Penn Pike. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear on the 5s at WIBC Traffic.
So here's our story. The rain's over, and we're now into some nicer temperatures, getting to about 68 degrees today. Some sunshine. We're also going to have some winds during the midday. We'll feel it again tomorrow, where temperatures get to about 72 degrees. And then we're working sunshine through the most of this week with temperatures on Thursday getting into the 80s. Rains come after that and will be with us for part of the weekend. Right now, we've got 62 degrees in the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. The time is 8:06. The Supreme Court making a ruling on deportations based on one lawsuit from the ACLU and now halting Venezuelan deportations that they said were acceptable under the Alien Enemies Act, which of course they were, and of course Judge Boasberg was always wrong. Tony Katz, 93 WIBC, good morning. Good to be with you. The ACLU engaging in this lawsuit and, saying to the Supreme Court, this has to stop. The Supreme Court, basically at midnight, without anything from the Trump administration, granted the ACLU, for lack of a better word, their petition. and said, you have to hold on. The dissent from Justice Alito, which could have been much more aggressive, stated, quote, in some literally in the middle of the night, the court issued unprecedented and legally questionable relief without giving the lower courts a chance to rule, without hearing from the opposing party, within 8 hours of receiving the application, with dubious factual support for its order, and without providing any explanation for its order. I refused to join the court's order because we had no good reason to think that, under the circumstances, issuing an order at midnight was necessary or appropriate. Both the executive and the judiciary have an obligation to follow the law. The Roberts Court is the most political court. Meanwhile, the Trump administration has, according to Margot Cleveland, filed their response to this, saying that the ACLU is not even representative of a class action. They're not actually representing people in an area where they claim to be. Not sure what comes from this, except you're going to hear the conversation about packing the court now go nationwide. The left always wanted to pack the court. They want to put a bunch of liberal justices on the court so they can always get their way, as opposed to people who actually adjudicate. Well, if this is what we're going to get from Gorsuch and Kavanaugh and Roberts and Barrett, 15 members on the court, 20, 82. Watch what the Trump administration does. And when the left complains, you opened this can. You did this. This is your fault. And of course, it's all eyes on the Holy See, the Vatican, where the Pope has died. The word coming out this morning from the Vatican that the Pope has passed away at the age of 88 at 7:35 this morning. That would be local time. The Bishop of Rome, Francis, returned to the home of the Father. His entire life was dedicated to the service of the Lord and of his church. It was just the day before that he attended the Mass. He went through the crowd in what they affectionately call the Pope-mobile. The day before that, he had met with U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance. I mean, it has been a remarkable couple of days. I do wonder if the story will come out that when the Pope was in the hospital and he knew he was ill and it was touch and go, and the word was from sources I know, like, and trust, that he was not going to make it out of the hospital. He spent 38 days in the hospital with a bilateral lung infection, pneumonia. I wonder if he said, if I can just make it to Easter. I'm not trying to be morbid. I'm just curious, like the idea of it, the timing of it. And people do these things. If I could just make it to the wedding, if I can just make it to this moment, to this milestone. It's my own curiosity. I don't know if that story will come true or not. It's I'm curious if it's something we'll hear. That's certainly how it presented to me. Dead at the age of 88. Conclave will take place in the next 10 to 20 days, and the cardinals will gather, and we will watch the smoke. Black smoke, no pope has been chosen. White smoke, there is a new pope. And for this church, the decision on pope could make a huge, huge difference. We will discuss. We go inside Indiana business. Coming up next, Gary Dick joins us there. Stick around. Tony Katz, 93 WIBC. Good morning.
When it comes to managed network services and IT support, Applied Innovation is at the top of the list for these Applied Innovation customers. Sean Carnahan, sales manager for Adventure Homes.
They do all of our computers, so they take care of all of our issues, anything that comes up with our servers, any tech support, software we need, any equipment we need.
Eric Lane, Director of Information Technology for Raleigh Williams Paint Spot.
Applied Innovation has been very proactive, and they've laid out a plan for here is what we look like today, and here's what we want to look like in 18 months and then going forward. So it's the long-term vision that they have that other companies didn't.
Ashley Crane, IT Director for Belmont Beverage.
They're just a really great company that has a lot to offer to a small IT team like ourselves.
Applied Innovation, office technology made simple, backed by a partner you can trust. Call Applied Innovation today, 800-521-0983, or visit appliedinnovation.com.
Are you feeling more tired, moody, or off balance than usual? Struggling with sleep, low libido, weight gain, or brain fog? Join us for our free Holistic Integration educational seminar, Unlocking Hormonal Health, A Natural Way Forward for Men and Women, Wednesday, April 30th at 6 p.m. You'll hear from Dr. Robert Prather, host of the Voice of Health Radio.
What we are doing with structure function care is getting the body to work. So we don't give hormones or endocrine anything. What we do is we get the building blocks that the body needs to correct itself. And it's a lot more permanent.
The Holistic Integration free educational seminar, Unlocking Hormonal Health, Wednesday, April 30th at 6 p.m. Plus, receive 20% off our in-depth Vibrant Hormone test that will reveal exactly where your hormone levels stand. Attend in person or on Zoom and reserve your seat by calling 317-848-8048 or online at thevoiceofhealthradio.com.
Pat Sullivan here with Michaela of Michaelis. If you have water damage, why should you call Michaelis?
Michaelis is a local family-owned Indianapolis company with 39 years experience. On call 24/7, 365. We are IICRC certified and will restore your space to pre-loss condition or better. And we work through the entire insurance process on your behalf to make it easy.
Water, storms, fire, and mold. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it. Text or call 844-FIX-INDY.
Don't get suckered into the same old free phone game by Big Wireless. There is a better way. Pure Talk, my sponsor, my wireless company, has a better offer. A brand new free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan for $35 a month. You get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 15 gigs of data, all on America's most dependable 5G network. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk for your free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan. Pure Talk, wireless by Americans for Americans.
Hi, Jeff Roush for Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now, get Lincoln's employee pricing on most all new Lincolns at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers. Get up to $20,000 off select 2024 Navigators, up to $8,000 off select 2024 Nautilus, or up to $7,000 off select 2024 Corsair at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Navigator MSRP 105,575, Nautilus MSRP 6195, Corsair MSRP 47,820. Offers good through 4/30/2025. Navigators excluded from employee pricing. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Traffic on the fives. Matt Bear, what's going on?
All right, Tony, southbound 69 stop-and-go traffic, 116th Street, 282nd, a 7-minute delay. Northbound 6570 slows from Michigan Street to Meridian Penn. Traffic sponsored by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the fives. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
We have got ourselves 62 degrees in the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. The time is 8:16. It's now open. PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse in Brownsburg, right in front of Premier Arms on Green Street. You got to see the selection. Newly expanded, the gold, the diamonds, the silver, the gemstones, the local artists, and of course, that watch collection. Guys, you got to trust me on this one right here. PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse in Brownsburg, 317-456-4010. That's 456-4010. Or find them online at pajewelers.jewelry. That's pajewelers.jewelry.
I've got you.
It's a shortfall, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, it's a question of whether or not the revenue is going to be what the forecast is. Yet somehow it's leading to absolute panic, and we have to cut this, that, and the other. cut away. You're not going to see me get angry. The question is, how is the General Assembly looking at this? How does the business community see it? Tony Katz, 93 WIBC. Good morning. Good to be with you. Gary Dick joins us from InsideIndianaBusiness.com on the Twitter X at IIB. That's where you find them. Before we get into some of the other things, all we're hearing about is this shortfall. Oh, my gosh, the revenues are not the expectations, and we're going to be light $2.4 billion. But this is all on paper. None of this is in the reality yet. What is the General Assembly saying? What is the business community saying? And are we going to see cuts?
That's the $64,000, well, more than $64,000, I guess, Tony. Question is, will there be cuts? The order of the day or the word of the day is uncertainty, whether you're talking about the national economy, obviously the state economy, the prospect of potentially a recession, how that plays out throughout the course of the remainder of 2025, has whether your state legislators, whether your businesses planning ahead, the uncertainty is what is creating that anxiety that you talk about.
So the real question here is there a reason, or does this business community feel that, yes, indeed, the inflation of Biden, tariffs of Trump are leading to a downturn? Is the shortfall actually indicative of a real feel on Midwest Main Street?
Yeah, I think there are those who believe that is absolutely the case, that we are preparing. Some say we're already in a downturn, but preparing for an economic downturn. And so whether you're a business or communities around the state planning ahead, taking that into consideration. Again, I think it's the uncertainty. You look at the markets, the stock market, which obviously does not like uncertainty, and we've seen what has happened on the markets as well. So, it all creates this air of uncertainty, and that makes for an uneasy feeling, no matter whether you're a business person, small business, whatever the case might be.
Talking to Gary Dick from InsideIndianaBusiness.com on the Twitter X at IIB. One of the stories you got going on there is about the Naval Service Warfare Center Crane Division and a munitions campus that's going in. What is the story here?
Yeah, that's really a big story, Tony. And this is, you mentioned Crane Naval Surface Warfare Center in southern Indiana, a major military installation. In fact, I think it's the third largest naval installation in the country by geography. 3,300 people work at that facility. They do some really high-tech stuff, making parts and pieces and technology for Tomahawk missiles, a number of really high-tech munitions there. Announcement made some time ago of a $75 million munitions campus that would be located in Bloomfield. That's in Greene County, only about 5 minutes or so away from Crane. And last week, the announcement that 16 companies have committed to go into that munitions campus. These are aerospace technology, artificial intelligence, and defense-related companies that would locate there. So the feeling is developers suggest it could be $600 million or more of private investment and several thousand jobs, and the jobs paying more than $100,000 annually. So needless to say, for rural southern Indiana, that could be a game changer, and a lot of folks are pretty excited about it.
Maybe I missed it. The number of jobs that are being anticipated?
In the thousands. There's no specific number on it, but 16 companies have committed to locating there. And the feeling is it can reach into the thousands in terms of the jobs created. And again, many of these jobs, high-tech, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math-related, that will pay over $100,000 a year. So that presents a good problem to have for places like Bloomfield and Greene County, and that's housing. How do you get housing for people who would likely be moving into the area and those types of things? But potentially a really big deal for southern Indiana.
Let's continue this conversation as we were earlier on the effect on the economy for example, tariffs, and certainly should be as the inflation has been high over the last 4 years. Lilly is now saying when it comes to whatever we make on the weight loss side, we're going to try and manufacture that in the United States. What did they say, and did the tariffs make them say it?
I think that's part of the equation, Tony. And Lilly CEO Dave Ricks really made some big news late last week, appearing on CNBC and talking about, the fact that Lilly feels very confident about a new weight loss pill. You know, you've got the injectables now in terms of Zepbound, which is Lilly's really popular weight loss drug injectable. Now Lilly's come up with a pill form, and the anticipation is that pending regulatory approval would be available next year. Where are they going to make those pills? And Dave Ricks came out and said, hey, we're making it in the United States. More specifically, and there may be other locations as well, but the new campus being built in Lebanon in the LEAP district, which is the largest, what they call an API, active pharmaceutical ingredient complex in the United States. So those weight loss pills, which is kind of the next frontier of this whole weight loss market, would be manufactured here in Indiana.
Talking to Gary Dick inside IndianaBusiness.com on the Twitter X at IIB. Let's now drag you into the conversation of property taxes. And you can admit to us that the deal that was made and signed in by Governor Braun, still thinking Senator Braun, incredibly unpopular. Everybody hates it, and why Braun didn't veto it is beyond you. You can admit that. That's fine. That's good. I don't want to put words in your mouth like I just did, but you can. It's okay. You now have the story that state property taxes might prompt local income tax hikes. So it's a two-parter, really. And I don't like to give you two-parters. What's the feel from Midwest Main Street, from Hoosier businesses on the property tax plan? And are cities seriously considering an income tax increase?
Yeah, I think it's really maybe too early to tell what that reaction is overall, Tony. But you mentioned cities around the state of Indiana. For the first time, they're going to be given the opportunity, if they have more than 3,500 residents, the chance to impose an income tax rate, a rate hike. I think the feeling is there are going to be some cities around the state of Indiana who actually do take advantage of that, others who won't touch it at all. So I think it remains to be seen, but I think that's something that a lot of folks certainly are watching, with that ability for cities to impose an income tax rate going forward.
The level of popularity. You speak to people. You're in the know. People whisper things to you, right? Your little finger with your little birds and all that. But you don't end up getting slaughtered by the Starks. You are a survivor. Who's happy with this?
Well, I think Governor Braun is happy with it. I think he feels as though it is a win for Indiana. There are a lot, as you say, a lot of folks who are on the other side of the fence when it comes to the property tax situation. And I think bottom line, if you're talking about businesses and what Indiana businesses are looking at, I think they continue to look at the overall tax package in terms of the cost of doing business and those types of things. And I think generally speaking, Indiana's tax climate remains favorable from a business standpoint.
That right there is Gary Dick inside IndianaBusiness.com on the Twitter X at IIB. You can catch him there. I appreciate it. Let's check in with traffic. Matt Bear, what's going on?
What's happening, Tony? Crash downtown, northbound 6570. At Washington Street, and it's on the right shoulder. Inbound 69 stop and go traffic from 116 to 82nd for a 5-minute delay. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, B Window is extending their employee discount to you. Get 55% off all products and services, plus 18 months, no interest or payments. Trust local, trust employee owned, trust your home to be. I'm Matt Bear with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Monday on the Hammer and Nigel show, did the boys survive Friday's show? Well, your guess is as good as mine. Let's find out together at 3 o'clock here on 93 WIBC.
Spring selling season is here. You've got opportunities with rates. You've got activity up. Best time to sell your home. But some homes are still sitting on the market, and hiring an expert who can maximize your equity and minimize hassle, that's the key. That agent is Mark Dietel. Perhaps what you're worried about with this challenging market is that you won't sell your home for the price it's worth. Mark Dietel is the real estate expert, trusted and recommended with the sale of your home. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he'll buy it. Just pick your move date. No long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. Andrew in downtown Noblesville said, recently retired, our goal was to sell our home of 30 years, buy an RV, and spend summers traveling to Montana and winters in Arizona. Mark Dietel's team made it happen. We went under contract in 3 days, over asking price, with no contingencies. Call the local Indianapolis agent, trusted and recommended, the agent who guarantees your home sold, or he'll buy it. That's Mark Dietel. Really nice guy. You're going to enjoy the conversation. Talk to him today. 317-755-4232. Get all the details or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark Dietel, Dietel, markdietel.com.
Nothing better than taking the family out to a midsummer baseball game out at Victory Field. And my friends at AAA Hoosier Motor Club can help deliver on some big-time savings. They're partners with the Indianapolis Indians and sponsors of their fabulous Friday night fireworks. And if you're an Indians fan and a AAA member, you get all sorts of perks. $4 off tickets to all home games, plus 10% concessions and Indians Pro Shop discounts.
Yeah, going to Victory Field, always fun. Same with going on a vacation. And AAA members, you save when you have a membership. You get discounts on hotels, rental cars, and even complimentary travel planning. Plus, if you run into trouble out on the road, AAA has you covered. Flat tire, dead battery, run out of gas. AAA is there 24/7, 365, no matter where your travels take you. Join AAA today. Visit AAA.com, call 844-GO, AAA-GO, or stop by your local AAA office.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 26th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Trust employee owned. B Windows extending our employee discount to you. Up to 55% off, plus 18 months, no interest, no payments. Trust your home to be.
This May, you've got a chance to see what an IndyCar driver's dream garage really looks like. WIBC's Tales from the Track, presented by Relay Indiana, takes you inside Graham Ray Hall Performance, a high-octane hangout where racing meets luxury. Hammer and Nigel sit down with Graham for great stories, laughs, and insights from someone who grew up on the hallowed grounds of the IMS. It's a backstage pass to speed, style, and surprises. Tickets available now at WIBC.com. Tales from the Track, presented by Relay Indiana. 93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Pope Francis dies at 88. You have a mostly cloudy sky in downtown Indianapolis, but a clear radar, 63 degrees, moving up to 71. I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at 8:31.
So we ask mercy
upon his noble, eternal soul. You bet we do. He'd want us to. He was such an eloquent preacher of divine mercy.
Cardinal Timothy Dolan, Archbishop of New York, speaking with Fox News.
But we also offer gratitude to God for the gift that he was.
Pope Francis's papacy began on March 13, 2013, when he made history by becoming the first Latin American pope. Now the search is on for the next pope, as eligible cardinals will soon vote for a successor in the Sistine Chapel. You could see some services cut if Hoosier political leaders make a new budget plan that accounts for some serious shortfalls that are expected in the next couple of years. Chris Davis reports.
There are three reasons: tariffs, and tariffs.
Ball State economics professor Mike Hicks on Wish TV's All Indiana Politics.
It is exclusively a consequence of the very deep economic shock that is beginning to wrap around the country and much of the globe.
But former state senator Jim Merritt disagrees, saying he believes lawmakers can hold off making cuts.
Well, I don't know if you need to cut because this is a very conservative budget, because we don't know what the grants of the federal government to the state of Indiana.
His suggestion is closely monitoring the budget because some tariffs may not last long. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
There were more measles cases reported over the weekend in Louisiana, Virginia, and Missouri, all linked to international travel. A total of 27 states now have confirmed measles cases, including Indiana. 800 cases so far, and 2 people have died from the measles. A girl that always wanted to become a cop has now lived out her dream. Here's Jake McDaniel.
Because I can help stop crimes and just make the world a little bit, comfortable in its place.
Olivia Brown, who has cystic fibrosis, tells Wish TV she turned into a Plainfield police officer for a day. She got to ride in police cars, and she enjoyed every moment of this opportunity provided by Plainfield Police and Make-A-Wish Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Gas prices are falling down this morning. You could get gas for about $3 a gallon, $2.80 across parts of West and East Indianapolis. And sports on WIBC, brought to you by Ball State Athletics. Visit ballstatesports.com. The Indiana Pacers lead their best-of-7 playoff series against the Milwaukee Bucks by 1 game. Head coach Rick Carlisle says Tuesday's Game 2 will be tough.
We fouled them a lot. We've got to cut down on fouls. The ebbs and flows of a series are so up and down. It's impossible to predict exactly what's going to happen from game to game.
Gamebridge Fieldhouse was rocking on Saturdays. The Pacers squashed the Bucks 117-98. Pascal Siakam had 25 points. Game 2 Tuesday, set for 7 o'clock. Coverage over on 107.5 The Fan begins at 6:30. The NFL Draft is Thursday night in Green Bay, and the Indianapolis Colts have the 14th pick in the first round. Major League Baseball, the Cincinnati Reds hung 24 runs on the Orioles, the most runs scored they've had since 1999. 24-2 the final score. The Cubs fell to Arizona 3-2 in 11. In minor league baseball, the Indianapolis Indians beat the Toledo Mud Hens 10-6 for their 5th straight win. I'm Ryan Hedrick on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com at 8:35. Traffic on the 5s. Here's Matt Baer.
Northbound 65 out of the north, split slow to west. And inbound 69 slow, 106th Street down 282nd, just a 4-minute delay right now. Traffic sponsored by B Window. Right now, B Window is extending their employee discount to you. Get 55% off on products and services, plus 18 months, no interest or payments. Trust a local, trust employee-owned, trust your home to bwindow.com. I'm Matt Baer with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
We have got ourselves 64 degrees in the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. The time right now is 8:36.
The Attorney General's Unclaimed Property Division has over $800 million just waiting to be claimed. Text MONEY to 46220 or visit indianaunclaimed.gov to claim yours today.
How bad is it? Don't sugarcoat it. Give it to me straight. Want coffee?
I think I need some coffee.
Time to fill up on the news. Tony Katz. 93 WIBC, good morning. Dow futures down 357. NASDAQ futures down 265. Don't tell us about trade deals, show us trade deals. Don't tell us, show us. You got a deal with Vietnam? Let's see it. You're meeting with South Korea? Let's see the deal. You had a good meeting with Japan? What's the deal? That's what the market wants to see. Meanwhile, gold is above 3,400. It's the hedge. It is the hedge. Now, some people are not believers in this, and it's the idea that people buy gold, but you never see anybody selling it. It's kind of an interesting thought process to it. I leave that to others. I do not have enough gold to count. But there's no doubt that gold is up well over $1,000, I believe it is, in just the last 2 months. It's a hedge against inflation, and it's a conversation about recession, which is a conversation starting to take hold, which absolutely was a conversation when Biden was president, yet somehow I was told it was the greatest economy ever, and you don't know how lucky you are. Now those same economists want to say to me, Trump has destroyed everything. Wouldn't the more accurate conversation be Joe Biden did a terrible job? Jared Bernstein of the White House Economic Council was an ignoramus. Janet Yellen was a fool. It was an absolute disaster. The economy was terrible. And that was the thing that brought us to recession. And tariffs are taxes, and it's not helping. And it's making the problem that already existed that could have been turned around even worse. Isn't that the honest way to do this? But no, these people aren't honest. And you want me to do what? You want me to look at these economists who said everything was great under Biden, everything's terrible under Trump, and say, oh, I'm going to listen to them? No, they're dishonest folk. They're political. They're not economists. Not interested in the political. I'm interested in the data. So other people can listen to those guys all they want. Count me out. Count me out of that level of unseriousness. Meanwhile, the U.S. dollar is now at a 3-year low. Then there's the conversation about Jerome Powell's chairman of the Federal Reserve. Should he stay? Should he go? Is Trump trying to push him out? Can he push him out? Tariffs or taxes, people. That's all I know. Oil prices now at $63.18 a barrel on the West Texas crude, $66.49 on the Brent crude, the 10-year Treasury at 4.4. 4.4. So the desire to get this thing under 4 and to be in like the 3.5 space, really be lower, that's not happening. Market doesn't like what it sees. The only thing that's going to satisfy is deals. That's it. I am not interested in how much you love Trump. I voted for the man. I am not a fan of the tariffs, but the only way out is through. And the only thing that's going to make a difference is deals. So, less talky, more dealy. That's it. But for those people who want to continue to say, oh, look at this, buyer's remorse. The border, check. The military, check. These are things that matter. Not everything has worked out in these first 100 days the way Trump wanted it to. That much is very, very true. But there's much that has worked out that has kept the Trump faithful right where they are. Even if they're bothered by tariffs, they're still in Trump's camp no matter what the left says. And the left, if they had any chance of grabbing these people, ended that when they decided that illegal immigrants were more important than citizens. They did it. Oh, and yes, economists who were all about how great Biden was and all terrible how Trump, that's dishonest. That's political claptrap under the guise of being an economist. Not interested in those people. nor their assessment. Tony Katz, 93 WIBC. Good morning. And there are deals to be had at Andy Moore Ford. We're talking about employee pricing across a full lineup of your favorite trucks and SUVs at Andy Moore Ford. That's what they're doing. The entire American inventory has been marked with employee pricing, so you pay what the employees pay. F-150s, the Super Duties, the Explorers, the Expeditions, which I'm driving right now, which is incredible and true story. My wife was not interested in driving it. She thought it was too big. And then, of course, I hurt the arm and she had to come pick me up and drive it home. She's like, this thing drives fantastic. I love it. All of those Expeditions right now with employee pricing. And if you need something a little smaller, but still can haul around the crew and the cargo, the Edge. Perfect balance of practicality and style. You're going to love the fuel economy. Tons of safety features, and with Get More to your door, get it, Andy Moore, Get More. They will deliver the vehicle to you. Just buy your vehicle online. Boom, shows up in your driveway. Andy Moore Ford will also give you top dollar for your used vehicle, even if you don't buy from them. Talk to Andy Moore Ford in Plainfield, 2713 East Main Street in Plainfield, or online at andymoreford.com. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. Andy Moore, M-O-H-R, andymoreford.com.
The pothole. Formed in colder months, tiny fissures are born, and in no time at all, they grow into big, gigantic tire killers. That's why you need Matt Baird Traffic.
Watch out on Keystone Avenue.
He'll guide you around these hidden monsters.
Yeah, might as well call it a basement.
And on to safer ground.
You don't want to be in the far left lane.
Mornings and afternoons on 93 WIBC.
Hi, this is Denny Smith for Exercise Inc. I've been working out there now for nearly 2 decades, and let me tell you, it works. I'm in my 70s now, and I'm doing things on the farm that I couldn't even do in my 40s. Lifting and carrying, working the way I want to, without worrying if my body can keep up. Now that's real strength. That's real results. What makes Exercise Inc. different? Well, it's the people. The professional staff, many with over 15 years of experience, know exactly how to guide me, support me, and push me to be my very strongest because they know what works. It only takes 20 minutes a week. No wasted time, no crowded gyms, just real results. If you're tired of feeling weaker, if you want more energy and strength for everyday life, give this a try. The consultation is free, and I can promise you it's worth it. Exercise Inc. It's helped me stay strong for nearly 20 years. They can help you too. Go to exerciseinc.com today to sign up. They've got locations in Avon, Brownsburg, Zionsville, and Greenwood, and in Fishers too. That's exerciseinc.com.
Pat Sullivan here for Gutter Helmet. Spring is here. Are you still putting screens on your gutters? You know, if the holes are too big, debris gets in, and you're still cleaning your gutters. If the holes are too small, it sits on top, and now you're cleaning the screens. I have Gutter Helmet on my home, and it has no holes, slots, or screens. It keeps the debris out and the water in. Since 1981, Gutter Helmet has been America's #1 choice for gutter protection. Right now, Gutter Helmet is offering a 17% discount plus 12 months, no interest financing if paid in full within 12 months. Call 800-5HELMET, that's 800-5HELMET, to schedule a free estimate. 17% off is good through April. Restrictions apply and cannot be combined with other offers. Call Gutter Helmet today at 800-5HELMET. That's 800-5HELMET, or gutterhelmetindy.com, and never clean your gutters again.
Traffic on the 5s, and Matt Baer, what are we doing?
Inbound 69, slow roll from 106th Street down to 82nd. At northbound 65, 70 slow into the north split from Michigan Street out to Meridian Penn. Northwest side crash southbound 465 at I-65. It's on the shoulder. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Spring's here and it's time for a new patio. Indy Decorative Concrete is offering free demolition. Offer ends April 30th. Visit IndyDecorativeConcrete.com for details. I'm Matt Baer with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
64 degrees in the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. The time is 8:45.
Promises made, promises kept. Governor Mike Braun's bold leadership is already getting things done for Hoosiers. Governor Braun and State House Republicans are delivering massive property tax cuts. We're talking nearly $1.5 billion in relief. That's real money back in homeowners' pockets. But Braun didn't stop there. He cut local income tax capacity by nearly $2 billion and capped the local income tax rate to protect Hoosiers. And Braun led the fight to reform local government taxes, giving Hoosiers more say by requiring referendums be held in high-turnout elections. Thanks to Governor Braun and State House Republicans, your property taxes will be lower. Future increases are reined in, and the system is now more transparent. Visit HoosierHope.org and let Governor Braun and Republican legislators know you support historic property tax cuts. Paid for by HoosierHope.org.
The Home and Garden Show hits the road again this week, and they're headed to the Decorators Show House and Gardens at 5676 North Pennsylvania. Join Pat, Denny, and the gang this Saturday 9 to 1 as they broadcast live from the Decorators Show House and Gardens.
This is adorable. Look what producer Carl did. It's time to play America's favorite game. What the heck is that TV theme song? Here is how we play. Tony Katz at 93 WIBC. Good morning. Producer Carl chooses a television theme song from yesteryear. I have to determine what it is. And it's always good to hear from Mr. Rogers.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you? Boys are boys from the beginning. If you were born a boy, you stay a boy. Girls are girls right from the start. If you were born a girl, you stay a girl and grow up to be a lady. Only girls can be the mommies. Only boys can be the daddies. Yes, sir.
Speaking truth. My gosh, what a violent man that Mr. Fred Rogers was. With his, how dare he say those things? But he was right. He was right. So I didn't need any help there. I got that one. And for those people noticing I am not live streaming, correct. That's going to be down for a little while on both shows. Honestly, I don't think you want to see me adjusting in my chair every 5 minutes with this sling. I don't see how it's not going to be surgery. Like I'm not sure how it's not going to happen. Basically, as I was telling the story earlier, I was cleaning up from a Trump and American Reset and 3 bourbons in Kokomo. A fantastic event. I'm so glad you all were there. My thanks to my sponsors, including Laser Precision Marksmanship Club, laserpmc.com. If you want to learn how to shoot, they're the guys. They were incredible. Mike and Garrett, that whole team, they were sensational that night. And people were trying the video simulator and having a ball with it. And use my code, TonyCats20. You're going to get a discount like you wouldn't believe. LaserPMC.com. Really super impressed by what they delivered as an experience. And they seem to be very impressed by you guys who were there. And Heaven Hill with the bourbon, love them. And, of course, Von Riest. I do work with this fantastic watch company that every watch is assembled in Indiana, Flederman Von Riest. And you should go to their authorized dealer, PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse in Brownsburg. They are the only ones who have the chronographs available. And use my promo code CATS, just say it, and you'll get the discount online or at PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse. Incredible selection of watches. Thrilled to be able to work with them. But I was doing some cleanup, and someone was coming to pick up these TVs that I was just selling because I didn't have a place for them. And I was putting one on a cart to bring to her truck. And I ripped my left distal bicep tendon. Now, not to be too gross, I've done this before in my right arm, same tendon, which, I mean, I don't know what the odds of that are. This is where the bicep connects at the elbow. It's a weird feeling, and it's super ugly. It's super ugly. I have now done this twice. And what's weird is I had been moving these TVs around for the past 3 days. I assembled the TVs. I put the stands on them, put them up. I did it by myself. It was just me. This was like Wednesday night. No problem. Piece of cake. Just the wrong angle, man. Just the wrong angle and pop, 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 pop. Oh, it is more gross than that. It is gross. Just the sound and the feel and everything else. And knowing I had done it, I knew it the second it happened. So you either get the surgery or you don't. And if you don't, you end up with what's called, have you ever heard of Popeye arm there, Producer Carl?
No, sir.
All right. So have you ever seen anybody where their bicep looks like really pronounced more at the top of their arm?
No.
Like Popeye, like the old cartoon? Yeah. All right. So that's what happens, right? Not to be too graphic. Can I be too graphic? Is that allowed?
This is radio.
There, Matt Bear?
It's up to people's imagination.
All right. I mean, listen, I'm not a doctor, but I do have doctor music, right? I have this. Once you play the Doogie Howser theme, you can do anything. So that's what happens. The bicep is being pulled by this tendon. And the tendon snaps. The bicep rolls up. I know. It's that gross. But it doesn't feel bad. Like, I'm in a sling right now. Right. Oh, 100%. But the issue is that you lose strength, right? If you don't have this, it's not that you lose strength to pick things up, which is super weird because that's not actually the bicep, which is very confusing to people. You lose the concept of supination, which is like, you know how you open a jar? You lose that skill set. That's the bicep. So you lose like half your strength in doing that. And the question is that worth it to you? And it has to do with age. Right? If you're older, maybe it doesn't matter. Me, I work on radio, not with my hands. And it's my non-dominant arm. So there's a conversation to be had. So I'm going to have that conversation today. But most likely, it's the surgical repair. The recovery sucks. Now, be perfectly clear. There are far worse things than this. But I started by saying the reason we won't be live streaming is that, honestly, with I'm assuming the surgery and this brace, I'm going to be a mess. And I just have no interest in putting that on video. As a matter of fact, I canceled every hit I have on Newsmax through June. Everything. Canceled it all. Like, sorry, guys. I can't do it. So it goes. I'll keep you posted for sure. If you want video of it, you're weird. That's all I have. I'll catch you guys at noon on Tony Katz today. Kendall and Casey are up next, and right now Matt Bear has traffic.
All right, checking out southbound 465 on the northwest side. This is a crash at I-65 on the shoulder. East side. Southbound 465 before I-70, vehicle fire on the left shoulder. Northbound 6570 slows out of the North Split to Meridian Street Penn. Traffic sponsored by Indy Decorative Concrete. Spring's here. It's time for a new patio. Indy Decorative Concrete is offering free demolition. Offer ends April 30th. Visit IndyDecorativeConcrete.com for details. Matt Barrett, WIBC Traffic.
Everyone is talking about Galaxy Concrete Coatings and their transformation. Like your neighbor Dennis.
I was in the process of refinishing my garage and, trying to turn it into a man cave. So I started searching, online, and I ran across Galaxy.
Galaxy Concrete Coatings is not epoxy. It's better.
First thing I wanted to do initially is I wanted to repair where the concrete had eroded. They said they could do that. I said, well, heck, let me go ahead and get the entire floor covered.
Commercial or residential, 4 times stronger than epoxy, and it comes with a lifetime warranty.
They were so courteous and respectful of the home and the property. And when they're done, they cleaned up, picked up, swept up. It was like they were never there.
Click on GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com now. That's Galaxy Concrete Coatings. And remember to like us on Facebook. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. We're out of this world.
I would recommend Galaxy over any other competitor, hands down. You're going to be taken care of and you're going to be satisfied. These guys know what they're doing.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/today.